Hey guys, brand new podcast. This one is from our tour bus. It's me, Steve Furey, Dave Williamson, and occasionally my cameraman John Mans and Halston.
That's right.
And we were on the tour bus, and so we thought we'd do a podcast, and it was fun. I think we'll do more of them. I am on tour, 2 shows in San Diego, 1 show in Las Vegas, 1 show in Albuquerque, and then the week after that, it's Oklahoma City and Little Rock. Come find me on the road, and then I'm taking a week off, and then we start back up. Pushing it hard, trying to stay healthy. Going surfing tomorrow. Can't fucking wait. You think I'm cold now? Wait till you see me then. I saw this great documentary. It's called Momentum Generation. It's with Shane Dorian, Kalani Robb, Rob Machado. I'm going to forget fucking names. I'm going to forget names. And I'll forget Kelly Slater's name on purpose so that everyone knows that I just can't remember all the names. But
Taylor Knox, Ross Williams.
Taylor Knox. I just followed all of them on Instagram today, but I'm fucking, it's amazing because so Rob, why am I doing this? But it's really great. I'd love to get those guys on the podcast because it's interesting. These are guys that were all on the pro tour, and then Rob Machado kind of, he got hurt, and then he didn't get voted to go back on the tour, and he became a free surfer, but basically kept his sponsorships and started making videos. And I thought the advent of the fucking GoPro really changed the game of surfing, because now you guys know, like, guys like Jamie O'Brien, Nathan Fletcher, Nathan Florence, John Florence, Ivan Florence, like all these guys. I've just named a handful, and there's so many more. Well, those are the ones that came to my mind. I don't mean to slight anybody, but because they can film their own content. And that's kind of, it's a little bit of what that is about, but it's more about the friendships these guys had and how fame and everything kind of changed everything. And it's so funny because all I could think is how this is like the group of comics you come up with. And you don't really pick the group of comics you come up with, but you come up with the group of comics you come up with. And then they're your best friends, and you have so many stories. It really was a great documentary. I highly suggest it. That has nothing to do with today's podcast. Today's podcast is me, my buddy Dave, my buddy Steve, my buddy John, and my buddy Halston on the tour bus talking shit. I do not know what we talked about. Do you remember anything we talked about, Halston?
Yeah, I just edited it all yesterday.
Oh, really? What did we talk about?
It was like 2 hours of just...
And I don't talk too much.
Oh, bad roommates.
We talked about bad roommates.
Mm-hmm. Cop interactions that you guys
Cock
have had.
interactions.
Cop
interactions.
Burning Man and
Burning
Mardi Gras.
Man.
Yeah.
So I hope you enjoy it. Have a great day today. Take a second and say some gratitudes today. Think about what you're grateful for, and try to become grateful to someone tomorrow. Try to have someone say, I'm really grateful that I got Bert in my life, or whatever your name in your life, because I'm grateful you listen to this podcast. I genuinely am. And I work harder so that you enjoy it. So I hope you enjoy today's episode. Have a great day. Without further ado, my buddies Steve Furey, Dave Williamson, John Mans, Halston, and me on the tour bus. Enjoy.
We're rolling whenever you want to go.
Yeah, get this. I'm rolling. Get this fucking thing away from me. Get this away from me.
Anyone else want something?
Fucking Voodoo Donuts delivers.
No.
They don't deliver, but motherfucker, they're so good.
They're the best.
It's so hard to lose weight.
That's when
Because I know this is doing the opposite right now.
Oh, it's the ultimate opposite.
But it feels so good.
That's the thing. We need, there needs to be a program where you can switch your brain, and instead of thinking that bad things are good for. Oh, I'm talking about it. Instead of thinking that things that are bad that are good for you, make things that are good for you taste better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everything bad makes you. That's what people should be working on. Make sure. Oh, Dave came in dressed well.
No, come on.
Did you lose your sense of taste when you got COVID?
Nope.
Damn it. That's what I would do. I would just eat fucking spinach and eggplant or something that I
Yeah,
hate.
they should take something out of COVID that makes you lose your taste and put it in like a diet supplement. Like the new Herbalife is like Herbalife COVID. And then you take it and they're like, hey, spinach ain't that bad no more.
Here's the deal. Bananas, I bet, were fucking phenomenal when that's all that was around.
Yeah.
When you were like, have an apple and a banana and drink from the stream, and then no salt. They had no fucking.
Yep.
You know what it is? The fucking salt trade fucked us up the ass.
Yeah.
Because we started getting spices. And the second we got spices, we were like, God damn it, man! I can't just have a regular banana anymore. I need banana with cinnamon on it.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing better than having salt and immediately having something sweet.
Can I tell you? I just learned as an adult. I learned the difference between sweet and savory. Is it sweet and savory?
Yeah.
I remember I was in England and they were like, "Do you fancy savory?" And I was like, "I have no idea what that is." And they're like, "Savory, would you like some savory treat or a sweet treat?"
Sounds like they're hitting on you.
Sounds like the worst stripper name ever.
I was
Up
like,
next, savory and mayonnaise.
I was like, "I don't know what that is." And they're like, "Savory is just salty, like chips and whatnot. And sweet, you know what sweet is." And I was like, "Oh, I can't mix sweet and savory." And this bitch was like, "Do you like ketchup?" I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "Sweet and savory ketchup." And I went,
Blew your mind.
I blew my fucking mind. And I love ketchup. I love ketchup.
They have like vinegar ketchup over there, right? It's totally different.
The what? No, they have like a hot HM. What the fuck are you doing?
Oh, like a
HM.
curry ketchup?
Yeah, I don't even know what it is. But you know, I just recently got out of and it started up again because I've had to shit on stage a couple times.
Yes.
But I used to have to shit on stage when I did clubs. I used to have to shit on stage very badly, like all the time. Like I took a shit in Lexington, Kentucky, in the middle of my set. I had Dusty come back on stage and do some jokes, and I ran to this bathroom.
You're like,
and
we're
I
still
took
having a
shit,
good time.
and I came back, but I just got spicy out of my life. Recently, I've been having spicy back in my life.
But you have hot sauce all the time.
Yeah.
The last 2 days I've had to shit on stage. I think I told you this, and I've gotten off stage and gone and immediately shitted. But I have not been fucking with hot sauce the way I used to. I used to
Yes.
do it. I used to need it.
When I first came on the tour with you guys, we had, I would say, 30 to 45 hot sauces coming out of and we would try everyone every night mixing them. Now it's definitely a lot more tame. There's still the sauce game is high, but it's just not, the spice isn't really that.
Does Mans have a microphone?
Yeah, we can share this one.
Yeah, good. No, you know how you have like memories of people of how you see them. You'll never see them past that first time. My forever memory of you, Steve, is having to shit at like fucking 8 a.m.
Yeah.
And you not laughing about it. You like walking up and down like I gotta go now.
Yeah.
I gotta go now.
Mm-hmm. I had to hot bag it. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that or the
No.
feds will come after me. If you don't know what hot bagging is, you can't poop on this bus, so you have to take a loose bag, preferably garbage. All we had was a Vaughn's. Put it on the toilet, you poop into the toilet, and then you fling it out going about 85 in rural Pennsylvania.
If you want to see an instructional manual on how that works, just scroll back on Bert's Instagram. There's a whole video of it.
I took a hot bag. I did a video of hot bagging it. I loved hot bagging it.
It's kind of fun. It's exhilarating. It's like pooping with but you got to beat the clock.
I never threw mine out the window. I always would just leave it.
It's funny how
For the next guy to
something like that, like you guys could say, I enjoyed it.
I
Like what
enjoyed
was
the smell of my own shit and the release. The reason I liked it is because it was the first bit of convenience. Like the idea that you'd have to shit on this bus and you can't shit on this bus, you have to go somewhere to shit. The idea, what I loved about it was I was like, oh, I really have to shit. We're driving down the street and now I'm shitting and it's over. I don't have to worry about it.
I think it gives me PTSD thinking about when I spent over a year living in a 25-foot travel trailer with my family. And, you know, when we first started doing that, my wife's like, are you allowed to poop on the trailer? And I'm like, people say that you shouldn't, but I'm like, there's no way we're getting through a year of doing this without, I'm like, we're pooping in the trailer and I'll just clean it out. It's just something I'll have to do. So I got really good at cleaning poop out the trailer.
So I think
Like,
what you're saying is we can poop on this trailer.
On this bus?
Because Dave can
Because
clean
Dave
it
can
out.
clean it up. That's a
Hey.
verbal contract. The internet just
I
heard.
run a
Dave,
garden
hold
hose.
Hold it this way. Flip it this way. And
Hold
hold
it
it
in
that
front
way.
of
There
you.
we go.
Yeah, perfect.
I would run a garden hose inside and then fill it up with water and then drive around the block and slosh it around and then park on an angle to flush it out when I had to clean it out. I mean, there was a science to cleaning poop out of the RV.
So one of the fucking like you remember I used to have that joke about like family meltdowns where my sister hit my dad in the back of the neck with a spoon.
Yep.
So family meltdown. We are in Arizona right after we did that COVID tour, the ballpark tour, not ballpark tour, drive-in tour.
Drive-in movie theaters.
And we rent a Winnebago, and the guy doesn't clean the shit out of the Winnebago, and people have been shitting in it for weeks. And so
The people that were using the Winnebago before you used it,
you shit in it. The guy didn't clean it.
oh,
And so we're driving and it smells like fucking sewage. I mean, it smells like shit. And so we pull up. Oh, fuck. I'm going to throw up thinking about this.
yeah, it's gonna be a bunch of people like, bleh.
We pull up to the dump. Me and Leanne, Georgia and I have some drama going on that has yet to been resolved.
Yeah,
It's like hypothetically, let's just say she snuck out of the house, right? During COVID.
got it.
Let's hypothetically say that was what it was. She snuck out of the house during COVID and hung out with her friends. And Leanne tells me about it, and they all laugh about it. And I find out about it, and they were like, "You're on the road. We didn't want to, give you drama on the road." I know, George, and I have to talk about this. Leanne goes, "Oh my God." Leanne goes, "Okay, I got to hook the hose to the thing, and then you hook the hose to the other side." And I go, "Okay." So she hooks the hose to the thing, and as I go to hook the thing, she just undoes it, and shit goes everywhere.
Oh my God.
And it's someone else's shit, and it's going everywhere because I haven't got it in the hole. And then I shove it in the hole, but
Yeah.
it's all over my fingers.
Oh yeah.
And I start gagging. Because I have someone else's shit all on my hands. And Georgia goes, "Oh, don't overreact." Oh, I lit that bitch up. I lit her up. I came at her. I fucking pulled her to the other side of the fucking Winnebago in front of her. I lost my shit. But I did a good
Literally
parenting thing. I didn't go too hard. I did it perfectly, and then Leanne heard all of it. Georgia went aside. Georgia was really upset. Leanne goes, "I thought it was going to be worse." I said, "Why?" And she goes, all the shit all over your hand. I saw shit on my hands.
Yeah.
Just getting yelled at with someone else's fecal matter in your face.
That was a fucking family moment. But Leanne, I wanted to fucking throw her through a wall. I had the hose, and she goes, "All right, clear." And I go, "You hooked it up?" And she's like, "I've already cut the hose." And I'm watching the hose go.
The thing with Georgia, though, I bet the anticipation of waiting for whenever you were going to unload on her for days was worse than the actual, you yelling at her. She's like, "Let's just get it over with." I remember one time being a kid, and one of the only times I ever saw my parents fight, we were playing a board game with some other families, and my dad, there was a word like Pictionary or something, and there was a word I didn't understand, so my dad had to whisper it, but he was on the other team, and so I'm drawing it and I'm not doing a good job. And then my mom's like, "What was that?" And I said what it was. And she goes, "That's what your dad told you to draw?" And I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "You would have told him it's a bowling ball with fingers on it to win a game," or something like that. Like, just out of left field yelled. And then they got into a fight. And I'm looking at everyone like, I don't think this is about the game. Like, they were obviously fighting about something else that seeped into the game,
Oh,
I still to this day remember that fight.
yeah, that was uncomfortable. That was an uncomfortable, and it's like, yeah, I remember that. That's fucking crazy. It's crazy all the times that you have with, like, I wish I could go back over quarantine. I was really rough on Georgia because she was becoming a kid, like a kid.
Yeah.
And it bums me out that I wasn't cooler about it, but I had so much anxiety about us all getting COVID.
Yeah, it was pretty intense when we were going out, because we were pretty good for a long time. We kept very small. No one was in and out. It was just us. So I could see, your daughter goes out and hangs out, breaks the fucking COVID container, and you're like, you could have risked millions of dollars in a fucking tour right now.
Oh, you could. I was like, what about? Oh man, I remember just being like, and it was really hard. It's really hard for a kid to understand.
Well, even just the tour is one thing, but also it's your kid's safety. At that point in the pandemic, I mean, I don't think vaccines were out yet, and you're probably just worried about.
That was bad
nothing
COVID. That was bad COVID when people died.
Yeah, I mean, you're scared for your kid. That was one time my parents got mad at me when you come home and they think you were somewhere and couldn't get a hold of you, and they're scared. And my mom never yelled at me, but I remember coming home and she was like, "Go to your room. Are you crazy? I would have been scared if something happened to you."
That was a big deal. Is not knowing where you were.
Yeah, my parents told me I could go anywhere as long as they knew where I was. It's all they cared about.
I feel like Steve has a different story.
Me?
I feel like you were like, oh, I've never told my parents where I was.
I would sneak out I kind of think that we had an negotiated agreement that like I would leave through my window at night and you would pretend you didn't know, because they had to have known because it was the only window without a screen.
Bert and I grew up in houses where the alarm would go beep boop when you open something.
Yeah. There was
You guys
no
had
sneaking
alarms
out.
back then? You guys had
we had-
ADT in the
we had
70s?
alarms.
Oh, yeah.
It was just like a bird?
Can I tell you, my dad said to me one time, Georgia, I don't know if she did anything. I don't know if she did or she didn't, like partied or whatever. She came home one time and was in a goofy, silly fucking mood, and I was like, in my head I was like, she was been partying with her friends, and Leanne came over and was like, "Does something not seem right to you?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I fucking get all worked up. I'm gonna fucking lose my shit. I don't know why I'm so strict about partying when that's my brand. Like that's what I party all the time.
Yeah.
All she's done
Maybe
is
you feel
seen
guilty.
all she's done is seen me party.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I go outside, my dad calls, and he goes, "How you doing?" And I said, "Not good. Fuck, not good." He's like, "What's going on?" And I tell him, and he goes, "So what are you gonna do?" I said, "Well, I'm about to go into a room." And he goes, "Is she safe?" I said, "Is she like wasted?" I go, "No, we can't even really tell if she partied or not. She was just in a really goofy, giddy mood, and we're gonna confront her." And he goes, "Hey." He goes, "Hey, how many times you came home and I realized you were fucked up, but I knew you were home and I knew you were safe, and it wasn't worth our relationship or the fight for me to go in your room and confront you." And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Let this one slide. Just for the fact that I let it slide for your whole childhood, let it slide." And I was like, "All right." And I just went in, and I went into Leanne. I was like, "She's fine." She's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, she didn't like, she wasn't like.
She didn't get caught. You didn't catch her doing anything.
Yeah.
She got home.
And she was home and she was fine and she wasn't like fucked up. And I was like, "All right, we're good." And by the way, the kid has the best fucking shoulders on head on her shoulder.
Yeah.
She fucks up a lot. She does. But she doesn't drink and drive. She doesn't do the things that are like big tentpole things for me.
There comes a point when they're gonna do stuff and you just have to trust that you've prepared them for it and they're gonna make the right decisions at that point.
Like cocaine and mushrooms and acid and all that. I want Molly. I just want her to be like, no, like, I don't want her to do any drugs. I don't want either of them to do any drugs. It's so silly and it's so, I had a mom his mom was like, I don't know if she was drunk. She's an alcoholic, but she was drunk. She was like, "You're such a hypocrite." And I was like, "Huh?" She was like, "You smoke pot with your friends all the time on podcasts. The kids watch it. And then you're going to tell them not to?" And I was like, "First of all, it's legal when I do it. Second of all, we're making fucking cash. Like,
Yeah.
don't ever fucking go suck my dick." I got so fucking mad.
Yeah, you're also an adult, not
I'm
a
an
kid.
adult.
And I'm
And it's
making a
job.
shit ton of
I'm
money.
doing a fucking job.
I remember the last time I knew I could get away with anything, and it was kind of understood. I was like 18, and I was sneaking out for a while at this point, and I go out to a party, and I get blackout drunk, and all I remember was eating these Welch's fruit snacks. Like my buddy's parents bought like a whole fucking box of the Welch's, and I was pounding them. Ba-bow, ba-bow. I get home at 4 o'clock. I take a nap on the lawn. The sprinklers wake me up. I crawl in my window, and I lay down. I wake up at 11 o'clock, but as I'm waking up, I keep chewing things in my mouth. I'm like chewing stuff. But it's like good, I'm just chewing. But so it's like kind of fun to wake up with a little snack. I wake up, go in the living room. They go, "How's your night last night?" I was like, "Oh, it was fine. I'm trying to play it off." They go, "It didn't sound fine." And they go, "Why don't you go look in the mirror?" What had happened was I woke up in the middle of the night and puked Welch's gummy bears all over my head and all over the bed. So I had like Welch's gummy bears covering my face while I was telling them like, "No, I'm just good. I don't know. It was a little bit right. I didn't sleep that well throughout the night." And then my bed, and I had to wash it. And then I kind of knew. I was like, "All right, I think we're kind of done. I'm 18. I'm just gonna do whatever the fuck I want."
Wait, then what did you do after high school, Steve?
I moved immediately out, and then my buddy had like, he's like, like when you got like a back house, but it's not a back house. It's kind of like you put a ping pong table there or something. My buddy had one of those, but there's like
a gazebo,
like a walled-in gazebo. My buddy had like a walled-in gazebo, and I was like, "I'll rent that for $100 a month from you." And he was like, "Okay." And then I moved in like July. It was kind of nice, but then during the winter months, it got real fucking cold.
Oh, because you're in Sacramento.
Because I'm in Sacramento. That shit's cold, dude. So like, I was just freezing my balls off in this, and plus it smelled real bad because that's where his dog used to go poop. And then I just lived there for a couple of years, and I just kind of went on my own, and then went to college and did stand up.
It's amazing what you will look at and think that you could make work at that point in your life. I had a friend.
Yeah.
I had a friend live in my attic for a little while.
Dude, I lived in an attic in college with a buddy. Me and him shared an attic. Me and Obi, you met Obi?
Was yours at least insulated?
No.
Yeah, okay. Mine wasn't either.
And no, mine wasn't insulated. And the attic, you couldn't stand up fully in it.
Oh yeah.
And in the dead center you could, but it was a tilt seat. In the dead center you could, but one side was so like the attic went like this, and then one side was dropped down a little bit, and was like a cove in the attic, and there was a bed back there. That's where I slept for the first half of the year. Then we switched, and he slept over there.
What if there was like CO2 poisoning or something?
Oh, the asbestos.
And the whole house died one night. They didn't find you guys up until the attic until 6 months later. Like, what were these guys doing up here?
We had a hole in our ceiling above our kitchen that went up to the attic. It was a fan. It was one of those attic fans.
Yeah.
Well, they had taken the attic fan out, and we used to fall out of the hole into our kitchen. Like
it's like a dummy waiter for poor people.
Was this
like
college, Bert?
College, definitely college. I lived.
You couldn't scrape together enough money for a bedroom?
No, I don't know. It was like
kind of fun.
You know,
living like that too.
Things were different then. Like you look at things and go, like first of all, you had to green light rent with your dad, so it was like. If my dad was, we paid nothing, and I
paid $200 a month for rent at Auburn.
Yeah, that was rent. 200, 250 was like solid rent, but this one was even cheaper. I think it was 150. Me and him split like 350.
Yeah, we definitely we lived in this one house. The most fun I had at one of my houses was I lived in a house with 4 other guys on my water polo team. We called it the Polo Hut. It was an old house, like just falling apart, but it had 5 big rooms with doors on it that we could call bedrooms, right? And then just throughout the year we had different people that kind of lived with, like what you're saying. We never locked the door once. We had like 4 couches in the living room.
Hey, someone grab is that our runner who just opened up a bunch of food for us?
Oh yeah, right up front.
Grab our runner, Pete's
on it. But we always had a rotation of like 7 or 8 different guys who kind of officially or unofficially lived with us and claimed a corner of the house. So I guess
it's called a flop house.
Yeah, I guess I kind of get what you're talking about. It's exactly like a flop house. You're right.
I had, when I first moved to LA, I had one friend that I knew from when I lived in Hawaii and when I grew up in the military. And so I had one friend who had moved to LA, and I shared a futon with him. And this man did not shower ever.
Oh.
And he did not put a sheet on his.
You shared a futon with him, like you guys cuddled?
I mean, we didn't cuddle, but we.
No, but hold on.
Were you like 69 kind of? Like ass to foot? Like head to foot?
Yeah, something like that. And it was like a full size, and I'm 6'5". This thing is really, really small. And he didn't really shower. He never put a sheet on the futon. It was cockroach infested. It was a studio apartment off of Vine.
Is this in Bangkok?
This is in Vine. Pretty much, dude. Down Vine Street, like
Bangkok.
After it gets like shitty. And I got cellulitis on my knee, and I got it's a huge skin infection that bubbles up, and I had to get it like drained, and I had to put gauze in it and go on medication just from sharing a bed in this dirty studio
What's this guy doing now?
Nothing.
He probably still lives in that same house.
Okay, who's your worst
kids?
Who's the worst roommate you ever had? My worst roommate is a dude named Dominic. He used to he would eat anything. Like this man would eat anything. It's old. The weirdest thing I ever whenever he'd poop, the bathroom would be humid like he took a shower, but he didn't take showers. Like there was condensation dripping from the mirrors. And I remember I come home one time and it smells like a fucking like the most disgusting fish you've ever seen. And this dude he left seafood stir fry from Costco in the fridge for a month. And then he cooked it up in a pan and he ate it. And he was fine. But then you were like, okay, now I understand why the bathroom has a humid snowstorm every time you go.
I think I've always been everyone's worst roommate.
That's a good. I was just gonna say. Yeah, I was just gonna say. I don't think I've ever had a bad roommate. I've always enjoyed everyone I've ever lived with.
You are the bad roommate.
But yeah, maybe maybe it was me.
Considering we've been your roommate now for a few years, you are definitely. You are definitely the roommate from hell. It's like,
but you're making that sound like I'm the guy on the futon. You just mean
no, you're on the couch.
Because
I'm on the couch.
Yeah, because
you're
I'm very
on the couch,
comfortable,
farting.
Yeah,
and
they take up space. I know.
Accumulating hats at an alarming rate.
But I will say that the most annoyed I've been with a roommate situation was we got this guy my sophomore year of college, was a friend of my previous roommate, a family friend. He's like, oh, this kid's coming and whatever. So he ended up being our roommate. And he was a freshman and his dad was a pastor in some small town in Alabama. So he got to college and just partied, right? He was so excited. I'm like, cool with me. And he started rushing a fraternity. And they would call in the middle of the night. We had landlines back then, right by my bed, you know? And they'd call all night long. They'd be like, Coleman, go get us chicken wings from Willie's. Bring it over right now, you know? And they just make them do shit all the time. And I'd get so annoyed. I'd be like, all right, let me go get them. Hold on. And I'd just hang up on them. And so I was like, why do you listen to those guys? That's what we have to do for us. Just whatever they tell us to do, we got to go do it. So I got so mad. And one day he left his list out of all the other guys rushing with him and their phone numbers. And we just tore through that whole list. And we're like, hey, man, go get 3 pepperoni pizzas, take it to Scarborough Square, leave it on the table out by the pool, and then just go away, right? We tell someone else, go get us 2 cases of beer, bring it to Scarborough Square, leave it by the green Honda Passport. Don't ask questions. You know, we had these guys just running errands for us all over town.
Oh, I was a pledge.
awesome.
I was a pledge. And we had to do all that shit. And then it's amazing. I can't imagine being that person now because I do not take direction.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't take like you can't tell me what to do. I start losing my fucking mind.
Yeah, it's a form of claustrophobia for me.
Yeah. But back then I was fucking.
I would have been like, you guys aren't showing a lot of respect. I don't know how we're supposed to build a brotherhood.
God. It's funny. It was fun. I loved it, but I could not do it now. I couldn't be a part of any. I have problems with just the fraternal hazing side of stand up where I just melt down. I'm like, nah, man. I can't. All my roommates, I had one roommate who was pretty, you might need to bleep his name out. His nickname was the Sloth.
Not a good start.
I had that year I had 2 roommates. Me and this guy Mike Osborne had 2 roommates. One pretty much formed a pretty aggressive form of OCD within the year, and it was, I mean, insane to watch.
What was his OCD?
Everything. I mean, organizing books, counting tiles.
Oh man! If you wanted to be a jerk, you could have messed with him real bad.
Yeah. Dude, it's actually really hard to live with somebody with OCD. That guy who was dirty and I shared a futon with, the most severe OCD I've ever seen in my life. Like light switches. Like every time he walked into a room, he had to turn on and off the light switch like 13 times. Every time he walked by this one poster, he had to tap it 3 times. And sometimes he'd walk by it and then walk back to it and tap it again.
You should have been like, how many times can you change the sheets?
Yeah.
The faucets.
Seems like he should have focused on his health a little bit.
The guy we lived with had a thing called a perfect cigarette.
Ooh.
And he was striving for the perfect cigarette. And he would go out at night and drive hours upon hours looking for the perfect cigarette. And it was so ritualistic. A certain song had to be on the radio. He had to get in his car at a certain place. The windows had to be down a certain way. The cigarette had to come out the perfect way. And the song had to finish right as the cigarette ended. There was all these things and he could never capture it. And he would be gone every night. Every night we'd hear him sneak out of the house and he'd drive. At a certain point, it had to be in Georgia, so he'd drive 45 minutes into Georgia, and I mean, it was like it was. You know, it's funny. We laughed about it then, and we made fun of it, and now you look, and now he's had some pretty significant issues in his life, and you look
probably from all that smoking.
Yeah, right where you start from there, it doesn't. You're not going to end up.
But you go, wow, man. Maybe I wish we had been better friends to him, you know, as opposed to like make fun of it. And then him had to do it in the secret. And then, but you're in college, you don't know any better. Yeah. But he was, and then the other guy, Sloth, let's just call him Sloth. That's not his name. He was the first person I ever saw morning drink, like where you got up and took a pull of a fucking bottle before going to class. First person I ever saw do that. And he had some legit issues. I mean, there was a bar that burned down and all the bottles of whiskey, all the covers had been burned off, and we broke into the place, the bar that burned down, and we took all the bottles of whiskey that were still smoldering, and we put them in the back of our car, and we partied with these all summer. And then one point we said, let's go on a fucking road trip, and we drove from just drove, didn't have any place in mind, just drove, and we drove to West Virginia. And in the middle of the night, in the middle of the night for us, we get a knock on the door, and it's 2 police officers, and they're like, tell the man on the balcony not to jump. And we look out and we're like, you got the wrong room, we don't have a balcony. And they're like, bullshit, boys, out of the fucking way. Push through us, go to the window, open the window, and our buddy is passed out on a fucking ledge, hammered, and he had one of the bottles and it dropped out of his hand. And the cop grabbed him by the belt and he goes, boy, when I say wake up, you open your eyes and you don't fucking move. And my buddy opened his eyes and he was like, inside now. Pulled him in, didn't do anything to us. They were like, God damn it, boys, if you're going to party, you got to get your shit together. Walked out, and we were like, we looked at him, we were like, he just went to sleep back on the bed.
Man, I know that when you do that impression, it hits me in my core, because I know that Southern cop going, boy. I've had that knock on my door, and I've had that conversation with cops all through college. Like, boy, what are you doing?
Boy. Man, I got pulled over in Georgia back in the day. In Georgia, when you got pulled over, they took your license from you. They just took it. They just took it. And that was that. And you got a ticket, and then they held onto your license until you cleared up your ticket.
I got a gun put to my head in that situation. I was, yep. I was at a
Georgia didn't fuck around back in the day.
No, man, this was Alabama.
If you didn't have plates from that state in that county, they were like, why are you here?
I had states or dealer plates from Florida that had accidentally been reported stolen. So I'm driving to the gym one day, and my buddy Casey's in the car with me, and we're driving by. I was in an intersection, and I you know how like when the light turns yellow and then you wait for the cars to speed through so then you clear, right? So I did that, and I thought I was totally safe, whatever. So a cop pulls up behind me, and a couple blocks down the road, Casey goes, oh, I got to stop at the ATM on the way to the gym. So I made kind of a crazy turn into the ATM, and he goes, boop, 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 and lights me up and blocks me in, right? And he walks up and goes, hey, you know why I pulled you over, boy? And I was like, oh, I know I made a crazy turn. I'm sorry about that. My friend just wanted to go to the ATM. And I was like, no. He's like, no, it's because you ran a red light. And I'm like, with all due respect, sir, I really don't think I did. He's like, license and registration. And I just lost my driver's license at a bar for underage drinking, or they caught me with a fake rum and Coke, and I had the X's on my hand, so they kept my ID kind of situation. And I had my fake ID, which wasn't very good, in my wallet. So now I'm freaking out that this guy's gonna see my fake ID, and I'm gonna get in trouble for that, right? So I'm like, sir, I don't have my ID, but I could tell you all my information. I rattle off my driver's license number that I still remember to this
dad's
day.
Williamson counter lab.
Oh, we got there. We got to that part.
Of course.
So I give him all my information. He's like, wow, I'm impressed you can remember that whole number. And I'm like, yeah. So everything's fine. The guy's being cool, right? So he goes back to run the plates, and I take my fake ID out of my wallet and I throw it in the center console. And I'm like, I just want this guy to find that and think that I'm like pretending to be someone I'm not or whatever. And all of a sudden I hear, put your hands on the windshield. And I think the guy's kidding because he was just cool like 2 minutes ago, right?
Yeah.
I look over and he's got a gun pointed at my face right here. And I have never been more scared in my life because this guy wasn't doing it confidently either. He looked scared, like he was like a rookie. And so he's like shaking like this, and pointing. And I'm trying to figure out how you put your hands on the windshield. I didn't know if I was supposed to be like this way or reach out and put it on the outside or what. And I'm just like, don't shoot. And all I could think of, because my whole water polo team had bleached our hair, and all I could think of is my dad in the back of my head going, if you want to be treated like a punk, then you're gonna. If you look like a punk, you're gonna get treated by a punk. And I'm like, my dad was right. They're treating me like a punk. I shouldn't have bleached my hair. Got an earring, right? So I'm shitting my pants. And now I'm thinking, did the guy see me put my ID in the console and he thought I was like reaching for a gun? I can't figure out why this guy's so mad at me, right? And I'm like, sir, what's happening? I'm sure there's an explanation. We could talk this out. And he's like, don't say a word until my partner gets here. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Talk you out of your gun, right? So he opens the door, makes us both crawl over, get out of the driver's thing, puts us down on the ground, cuffs us, throws my buddy in the back of the cop car, and he tells me it's because my license plate came back stolen. He ran it, and someone made a clerical error at my dad's business, and they reported the car stolen. So now I went to that. I'm like, oh, just call Fran in accounting over at Williamson Cadillac. She'll straighten this up, So they're trying to find something wrong now. Now they're trying to find something to get me. So they're like, we're going to search your car. And I'm like, ooh, that could go real bad.
Yeah.
I'm sure I have an empty bottle of something somewhere. And so they go through my car forever, right? And I see the other cop, the second cop, who was cool, not the shitty cop, right? The cool old guy cop. He's going through my car, and he opens the center console, and he looks real close, and he looks even closer, and he looks over at me, and he just laughs and closes it. I'm like, oh, that guy saw my shitty fake ID that said Mike and Francis Sinclair, and it was so bad he thought it was funny.
He's like,
Yeah. So then after like 2 hours, man, they let us go. And it was, I was never been more scared in my life though. When that guy had that gun pointed, it was like daylight, and I'm just looking at the barrel of it.
Roses are red, violets are blue, and don't let pubes wreck a you. Did I say that right? Don't let wild pubes wreck you. Wild pubes. All pubes that aren't trimmed are wild pubes. That's my feeling. Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and our sponsors at Manscaped are here to give you the best tools for your balls to keep them ready for that special occasion. This V-Day, it's time to join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped as the leader in below-the-belt grooming with their exclusive offer. Right now, go to manscaped.com and use the code BERT for 20% off plus free shipping. My relationship, I was going to say my whole family, that was going to sound weird. Me and my wife are big manscapers. The Lawnmower 4.0 is the greatest electric trimmer ever designed. I'm telling you that right now. It trims hair on loose skin, which is so important because old school trimmers would snag loose skin and then you'd have blood fucking everywhere. Get this trimmer. It's got the advanced skin safe technology which reduces cuts and nicks on your delicate balls. It even has a 4,000K LED spotlight so you can shave anywhere your heart desires. Did I mention that it's also waterproof? Here's what's great about it. You sit on top of the toilet and you put it in the toilet to shave your balls so all the stuff falls into the toilet and you can see just about everything and you don't have to worry about getting too close. I didn't have to put my reading glasses on the other day. I gotta be dead honest with you. Every trimmer should come with a light. In my opinion, trimming my mustache with a light is so much better. Bert, do you trim your mustache with the same thing you trim your balls with? It's my balls and my mustache. I'd suck my dick if I could. All right. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code BERT at manscaped.com. But I'd only suck my dick if my pubes were trimmed. That's 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com and use the promo code BERT. Join Cupid and shoot your arrow with Manscaped this Valentine's Day. If saving more and spending less is one of your top goals for 2022, then why are you still paying insane amounts of money every month for wireless? Switch to Mint Mobile. It's the easiest way to save this year. As the first company to sell premium wireless service online only, Mint Mobile allows you to maximize your savings with plans starting at just $15 a month. That's a game changer. That is fantastic. Just $15 a month. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. By going online only and eliminating the traditional cost of retailer, Mint Mobile passes those significant savings on to you. All plans come with unlimited talk and text, plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts. Why? This is a no-brainer. With Mint Mobile, you choose the amount of monthly data that's right for you, and you stop paying for that data that you never use. God, that's brilliant. Switch to Mint Mobile and get the premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/Bertcast. That's mintmobile.com/Bertcast. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Bertcast. You know, I had a scenario the other day where I thought, if a guy pulls a knife on me or a machete, I was playing out and I was like, I think I'm gonna roll the dice on this one. I was wearing these. I was in my front yard and I had gloves on, and I'd heard there was movement at our front thing. We've had people walk into our new house, like randomly just walk into it. They think it's, you know, my neighbor is, they think it's his house.
Yeah.
And so they just walk in. And I don't know the right way to say that. I don't know the right way to say what I'm trying to say.
He's an intimidating neighbor.
It's an intimidating neighbor. Yeah.
Why would people just walk into Pat Sajak's house?
Because people think, because for some reason they are getting the number that they're giving out for that person.
It's confusing.
Is our number.
Oh,
They're good. They gave it out. One guy was one was a moving truck or a like someone that was dropping off something, and they just pulled up, and then they walked in our front yard and then walked up to our door. One dude just walked right into our house. Georgia was like, "Can I help you?" The guy's like,
that's terrifying.
"It's terrifying." And then I got your instinct when someone goes into your house, like, what the fuck do you need?
Yeah.
Right? And that guy was not the guy to say that to.
No.
And then you're like, what? So I started keeping whatever.
What did your bull mastiffs do?
Fucking
Nothing.
Mac did nothing. Mac was like snoozing, and I was like, Mac, get the fuck up. And then Mac got up and went over and barked. The guy, but you know what's crazy is I got ballsy with the guy, and the guy did not. He was actually pretty apologetic because he was not breaking into my house.
Yeah.
He was just at the wrong house, and he was like, I think he saw George and was like, "Oh, cool, there's some young chicks here."
Have you ever been that guy? Have you ever walked into the wrong house before?
Never. And by the way, we've had that happen.
Yeah,
a lot.
I did it one time after Hurricane Andrew. My buddy, his house was destroyed, so they moved into a rental townhouse. So I was going over there for a sleepover, and I'm in like 9th grade, right? And I think I remember which ones is his. I mean, I was positive I knew which one was his, but they all looked the same, right? So I walk up and I bang on the door. My mom already pulled out to leave, right? She dropped me off. I knock on the door and I hear just someone yelling this, and I assume it's his mom going, "Come on in," right? So I open the door and I walk in, and there's a lady who just obviously jumped out of the shower, probably terrified, and had a towel around her, and she's peeking around the corner. And I don't have great eyesight, and especially in low light situations. And I just still thought I was in the house. I was like all the way in, about to go up the stairs. And I just assumed it was his mom. And I'm just like, "Hey, Mrs. Powers, how you doing?" And she's like, "Can I help you?" And I go, "No, just go upstairs and hang out with the guys." And she's like, "What are you doing in my house?" And I'm like, "Pat invited me." And this lady probably was terrified. And then it just and then I was like, I don't hear people upstairs. The lights are off. That's not Pat's furniture.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I am so sorry. I think I have the wrong house." And I just turned around and ran. But it can happen easier than you think.
There was a guy that came to one of my buddy's houses and just walked in the backyard, and we were having people over, and the guy just sat down and was
just like a wedding crasher, but
just talking to us, and we were talking to him, and he had meant to go to the neighbor thing, and we had been so pleasant and so nice.
Yeah.
And we were like, "So what, how do you know why did you call it?" And he was like, "Oh, I don't actually know him. I know this other guy." And we're like, "Oh, okay." And like it was just yeah.
Just at the wrong party.
Just at the wrong party, and it was right next door.
But, you know, you live in a very nice house now. And, you know, when I grew up, or when I lived in Miami, I had a nice house at the time. And my wife never felt safe in that house. Even though, you know, you have a fence and an alarm system, and it's a nice house with you know, locks and thick windows. She never felt safe in that house. Yet now, in our little tiny LA house, you know, she feels very safe. And I think it has to do with just the fact that you
can see all corners of your house.
Yeah,
I see all four windows. Can't get in there.
I hear my gate when it creaks. If someone was in the other room, there's a chance someone in my family has an eye on every room at every time.
Yeah.
My neighbors are 3 feet away. My neighbors text me all the time when I'm on the road and go, "Is someone supposed to be at your house?" And I go, "Oh, yeah, they're the Amazon guy's dropping something off or whatever." You know? So I just know that no one's sneaking into my house.
Well, I have hidden weapons all over my house. But
what's your favorite hidden weapon that's not a gun?
Hatchet. I have hatchets everywhere. I have hatchets everywhere.
I have a machete and then the small Louisville, and I think of kind of like hitting with the machete and then using the Louisville as a hammer to get it really through.
I have a fantasy.
You're gonna chisel him?
Yeah, I'm gonna. I've been thinking about him. Fucking.
I have a fantasy of dude breaking into my house and me throwing a hatchet like at those bars.
Fuck yeah.
And, like, but it's two dudes, and I throw it, and it hits him center in the head and sticks, and he goes like this, and his other friend goes, "What the fuck?"
That is a dream.
And it's me and Steve going, "Bert, it's us. Bert, it's us. What
You
are
killed
doing?
Andrew.
Why are you drinking at 9 a.m.?
I got a call from my sister, Cotty, and she said, I'm worried about Annie. And I said, why? My other sister. She goes, her car is here, and it's been there for 25 minutes, and she's not answering her phone, and it's not her house. And so we were like, what the fuck? And they're like, she's like, I tracked her going home, and she got taken off the interstate over to this house, and she has been there for 25 minutes, and she won't answer her phone. So I grabbed my gun. I grabbed my gun in my lockbox, right? I have a lockbox for my gun that's only open by my thumbprint. I grab my lockbox. Leanne and I get in the car, and I have my gun, and I'm going to go, and I'm like going to figure out what's going on with my sister.
Save my sister.
Because they don't realize that we can track her. We can track everyone in our family. And I am shaking. I'm so nervous. I'm shaking as we're pulling out. And then my sister, Cotty, calls, and she goes, it's Andrew. She's at Andrew's house. And I went, oh, fuck. I was going to be busted into Andrew's house with a fucking gun. Where's my sister?
Or she's like getting laid, and then you just come in and she's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, sorry, buddy."
Yeah. So, but I was like ready to fucking, I was like,
Do you still have your tasers, you guys?
I have all my
Oh, yeah.
tasers. Yeah.
The ones
I
you
have
got
it.
for us?
I have it next to my head.
Georgia has mine in her car. She has mine in her car.
I got a crazy taser story.
Wait, let me hear it.
So I used to sell drugs for a very long time, and one time I got robbed, and I owed my drug dealer these drugs, and he goes, "Okay, you got to do this thing for me, right?" And he gives me this taser. It's one of the police ones. If you ever had a taser, that shit's loud, like the real ones. Yeah, right. So he goes, "Okay." He goes, "You're gonna sit here, and it's you ever go to like a real shitty apartment complex that's outdoors, right? And there's kind of like stairs going down." He goes, "There's gonna be a guy walking past you with a Louis Vuitton duffel bag. All you got to do is gack him." And then he goes, "And then you don't touch nothing. You run straight forward and you jump into this guy's car in the back seat, and we'll call it even." And I go, "Okay." You know, because it was like at this time I'm probably like 17. I owe this guy probably $6,000. Now, you know, whatever, but 17, $6,000. You know,
It was a good deal in your eyes.
yeah, to me, I'm like, okay, I'll do this every weekend. Shit, if I just gotta glack people for $6,000, I'm gonna come up. I'm gonna make $24,000 this week.
Become the most non-lethal
Yeah.
hitman ever.
I'll be the glacking guy.
Send messages.
You hear glack, Steve Fury coming. That's who's here. That's me knocking at your door. So I'm
the
sitting.
lamest assassin ever.
So I'm sitting down at the bottom of the stairs, right? And I'm on my own sidekick, the old phone. I'm just kind of playing pretend. I see the guy. He's coming right in front of me, right? And I'm kind of at a T where the sidewalk goes like this and it goes straight. So I can go straight, and he's coming this way. And he comes right here, and I go right into the back, the sweep me. The guy hits the ground. He drops the bag. And this little black kid comes sprinting, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, I'm gonna have to fucking this 11-year-old kid. And, you know, because I'm like, this is his backup was an 11-year-old kid. So I'm like, and the kid comes, grabs the bag like a fucking like a sprinter passing it off an Olympic, and takes off the other way.
Like it was a fumble.
Yeah, like a fumble, gets in that car, and then I realize that guy's on our team. That was the whole plan. And then I run and go straight into the other car, and then I got the whole thing.
That would have been great if you had
Galactic
tasered
kid.
the guy who was on your side.
Then everyone who keeps coming, I'm just clacking every human being who comes by.
And they all fall on top of the last one. So there's just like 8 people stacked up on each side.
I do not have the stomach for that. When we
It was
went,
scary.
we went to Mardi Gras one year, and it's the first time I ever did coke, and people in Tallahassee were like, "Hey man, if you can bring some back, that would be great." So it was, man.
Scary to drop that.
It was not a lot. I mean, it was maybe like an 8-ball.
Mhm.
Like, no, I mean,
Not much.
literally not a lot.
So-
And we drove it from from Louisiana to Tallahassee, and halfway through, I just panicked and I threw it out.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was like, well, you know, what's funny is none of this makes sense, but I dumped it, but I saved like a pinch at the bottom. Like I dumped it, but knowingly saved a pinch, as
like
if
a souvenir.
As if I got caught, I could say that it really doesn't make any sense. I would say, "Oh, that was an accident. I dumped it out," and then if I got home, there would still be a little there. Like it was like almost like
Yeah,
it's almost like when you when you pour out, it was
I don't
hard
think
to
you understand how
rationalize.
evidence
It was
works.
hard to rationalize why I did that, but I remember dumping it out, but saving a pinch, and then me and my buddy.
Well, did they pay you for it? Maybe you were like, it was like if you bought a pizza and someone's like, "Yo, did you just take my money?" And you're like, "No, but I brought the pizza box."
I don't remember I think we got it for free.
Whoa.
Because we got it. Well, because we
That's a good
did it
deal.
the first time I ever did cocaine. It was a rock, and they shaved it off, and it was very fantastic. I mean, I hate to say this out loud, but it was like, I remember distinctly. I don't know if this happens to everyone, and it didn't happen to me every time. But I did one snort on my nose, and from this tooth over went numb.
Yeah.
Straight down my face.
That's pretty
And I had to do the other side
to even it out.
to even it out because it was freaking me out.
Like a stroke victim.
Yeah.
This is pretty good. I gotta say, some of the best coke I've done.
And we had so much fun. Like I've never had that much fun in my life. And I remember telling people about it. And my roommates, not all my roommates went to Mardi Gras. It was me and one of my roommates. And they were like, "You got to bring some back." And I was like, "Great." And so I hit my buddy up and I was like, "Hey, can I get some for the road?" And he was like, "Yeah, of course. How much do you want?" And I grew up with a guy. I literally grew up with a guy.
How's he doing?
Not good. Not good. Not good. He's not doing horrible, but he's not doing great. And if he's hearing this, I hope he's doing better. And
he's hearing it. I hope I can get an 8-ball.
He just gave us, because he grew up. It just wasn't like, this sounds crazy, but we never bought drugs from each other. We just gave drugs to each other.
Yeah, like a friend.
We had to take the drugs to Burning Man the first time we went. And there were some older guys, some veterans that were there, and they were like, "Bring the tents, bring all the good stuff, and then we're going to give you a bunch of mushrooms and some other illegal stuff to bring over." And so we're driving from Colorado, me and Ted, first time to Burning Man. We're out in the middle of the night, driving the car. We get a flat, and so then it takes forever, and we're out in the desert in the middle of nowhere. We took kind of this back road to get back there, and it starts raining and stuff, and we're really late and stuff. So we're like, "Fuck it, let's just take some of the mushrooms right now. Let's just might as well take it for the drive." There's no other cars out there. We pull up, and when the main thing is you got to get through Gerlach, the last town, before you get into Burning Man. You have to get through there because there's a bunch of cops, and you have to go super, super slow and very reasonable. And so that's the little town we were worried about. But we took some shrooms and we got all drunk. And we were driving in, and
that's a good way to make it through that town.
Yeah, I know. Well, it was a stupid thing to do. And then, but we thought we could probably do it, no problem. But we started coming up, and we just see all these lights going, and it looked like cop lights and stuff. And we're like, fuck, and we're tripping. And I was like, Ted, they're shooting lasers at us and stuff. And he was like, fuck, they are shooting lasers at us. And they actually probably were, but we were just like, started freaking out. And we just dump all the shrooms, we got rid of them. We were like, fuck, we're busted. We're totally busted. And we're driving through we come through the town. There's cops all over the place. And we're like, fuck, they're going to bust us. And nobody does anything. And we're just like, oh shit. And we get out to Burning Man. There's a half-hour wait to get into the venue. And we're in line and stuff, and we're creeping in. And then when you're going in, this guy comes up to us, and he's like a burner. He's got like shoulder pads. He looks like, he's like
Mad Max.
Got costume like Mad Max. And he comes up and he goes, "You guys have your tickets?" And we're like, yeah, we got our tickets. And he looks at him. He goes, "You ever been here before?" And we're like, "No." And he goes, "You got any drugs?" And we go, "No." And he goes, "Okay, well, get out of the car." And we're like, "Oh, we're fucked. We're going to jail right now." And we both get out of the car.
We're going to the
We're
Thunderdome.
standing there, and he goes, "Pull your pants down." We're like, "What? Pull your pants down." We both pull our pants down, and we're in everybody's headlight and stuff. And he goes, "Welcome to Burning Man." And he just starts hitting our asses. We're just like, oh my God. He's wasted all our drugs.
Would Burning Man be fun without drugs?
Yeah. It's a
It
big
would still
art.
be fun.
It's an art festival.
No, Dave, not for you.
Yeah.
Like, no, not for me, not for you. If you're an artist and you are interested in art and you have a spiritual side that is like tethered to the universe.
You don't think they would appreciate you and me showing up and being like,
you're
who
not,
wants to funnel a beer?
You're probably not the right kind
Energy?
of person. I mean, you'd be a weird energy there for sure.
My mom went to Burning Man.
Really?
Did you have fun?
Jeez.
My mom went to Burning Man. She spent thousands of dollars on costumes and like.
Was this recently?
No, it was like right when my parents were getting a divorce.
Oh, okay. sounds like a divorce.
What a thing to do. Yeah.
I don't think I'd enjoy Burning Man. I don't like.
It's too dirty.
I like water.
You know what, Bert, you would like it because they call it radical participation. And when you're walking by something, somebody's playing a game or doing something fun, they're like, "Get over here," and you would do it. You'd be like, "All right, I'm in."
I would like that. I would also like if I could have sex with people there, I probably would like Burning Man.
But then you can't shower and you're getting like sandy, gross pussy.
Like
gross. They say when you get there, the first thing you're supposed to do is jump on the ground and roll around so that you just beat the dirt.
Yeah.
And now it's a party. And that's the least. I hate dirty sex. I like clean shit.
I don't. Wait. Do you have dirty sex? Do you have like mud clots?
Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody gets a UTI and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Wait, did you have sex at Burning Man, mans?
Yeah.
Like a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Like
free love kind of stuff, man.
Not with random people.
that?
No, with the people I brought.
Would that dude do
Thank
that
you,
with?
Peter.
Yeah.
Well, I think I would like the costume part.
But what's really
That'd be
fun
kind of cool to
so get this,
feel
like
Mad Maxed up, that would be fun.
you're cruising by and you see all these guys like there's these poles that are attached to like little vests or whatever, like a way to strap yourself into this pole, 4 people across, and there's guys pulling that pole on either side, and you realize it's a human foosball table. Like with real people on it. And they're just like, "Get over here," and you get yourself strapped in and you start getting yanked around and you're trying to play soccer and stuff. Like, it's fun. There's crazy ridiculous things like that.
I want to see some sexy Burning Man costumes. It's
very Mad Max.
Look up festival.
I wonder if I could just go and just put on a costume and then just fucking raw dog 100 women and then just come home and just tell Leanne that it wasn't me.
Yeah, that's eyes wide shut.
Is that what Burning Man is?
It's not really. That's not really what Burning Man is. It's whatever you want to make it. Really.
What is Burning Man? Is an art festival, right?
It's art, and then it's like
it's kind of jumped the shark.
It's whatever you kind of want to do,
right?
Yeah, it's getting a little bit now. It's 75,000 people, and when we started several years ago, it was 20,000. So people do it for the Instagram pictures, so it's not quite as cool.
Burning Man. Naked.
How about this, Bert?
What?
A pussy print.
What?
This woman was walking around and she's like, "Hey, you want a pussy print?" And we're like, "Yep." And she has glow in the dark paint and a roller.
Oh, she was using like a stamp.
And she takes the roller and puts it like on her butt and her pussy, and she sits down on a piece of paper and gives it to you, and that's your pussy print.
You still have it?
$50 a pop.
I think so.
How many years did you go, or how many times did you go to Mardi Gras, Bert?
Marty, I went to a lot, 7, but I never, no, more than that, probably 12 when you think about it, because I went as an adult too. Never kissed a girl. Isn't that crazy?
I went
never kissed a girl.
Yeah, I went my first 4 years of college, and I think that what was fun for me was figuring it out and getting good at it from year to year, right?
See, I can do it. Look at how big this guy's dick is. Like, that's immediately, I was like, I'd have the smallest dick, and I'd look so gross naked. Everyone would be like, ugh, this guy's got a fucking rod on him. It looks hard, and he's ripped. Look at how big his dick is.
Yeah, nothing about it really makes me interested.
Yeah, I'm with Steve. I think the dirt's a turn off.
The dirt is a turn off. If it was clean, we're Jesus Christ, buddy, we're podcasting.
All right.
Fucking
All right, buddy.
How you doing? How you doing?
We shouldn't. That's why we normally close the doors.
Yeah.
All right, wait, close it.
Can I tell you one other instance?
Yes, man. Give me more Burning Man fucking.
We were pulling in. I was pulling in with my girlfriend, and it's almost nighttime, but we have our headlights on, but it's not completely dark. We pull up, and there's these people in the headlights. This couple, and they're fucking, and just right in the middle of the street, kind of like where you have to pull in. And we had our headlights on them, and they weren't moving. They weren't doing any. They were moving, but they weren't going to get out of the way. So we just turned the truck off and turned the headlights off, and we just sat there and watched them fuck. And then they finished up. He finished up. They got up and left, and we were just like, "That's the most amazing thing I've ever seen." A week later, we're cruising by. I'm going by there with my girlfriend. She crashes, and she sees she crashes and it kind of hurts her leg. This lady comes running out and goes, "Oh, do you want some chocolate?" And she's like, yeah, I like some chocolate. And she's like, oh, you poor thing. And she's
Wait,
trying
was
to
this a dream you had?
No, but
It doesn't make sense.
But well, basically, we came back to the same place a week later, and this lady goes, a week ago, this couple crashed in together. They didn't know each other, and they just started fucking.
Oh, they were strangers.
And that was who we had seen. It was like they had crashed into each other on a bike, and then the guy was like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm okay." And then like, "Hey, you want to hook up?" And
It's like Reese's peanut butter. You're like, you got my dick in your pussy. You got your pussy on my dick.
and
Here you
just
go.
got it on.
I just shared a link with you guys. Pete's really into it. It's naked oil wrestling at Burning Man, and it's just dudes.
You could
cool.
look up festival look or something like that.
Do you want to find out? You want to find out if you're gay real quick? Wrestle with another dude naked, covered in oil, and just see if you get hard. Do you think you?
All these guys are hard. Every guy in this picture, they're all hard. AF.
Do you remember Turkish oil wrestling?
I do. What you brought up tentacle porn today, and then we never heard it.
It was just a sound bite.
Oh, tentacle porn. You ever seen tentacle porn?
Yeah.
No.
Japanese stuff.
Ooh, there's a lot of stuff I got into for a minute and then dropped it out of. Turkish oil wrestling was one of them. It's just dudes in leather pants, and they try to grab inside the pants to move them. It's fucking homoerotic as shit.
Sounds
It
like a
is
sport.
It is, Dave. You'd like it.
Yeah, that's got Dave.
It's a legit sport, and
There's
it is.
nothing gay about it. I just like wrestling, friends.
He's just an oil
So
guy.
a couple. I think it's a true test of camaraderie and friendship. And
What do you think
test
the
of strength.
perfect amount of women to oil wrestle would be with?
Like the amount of women?
Like if I said tonight,
Do I still want to win or I'm trying to fuck?
no, just you can't fuck, right? But okay, you can't fuck, but you gotta hope that enough friction of the oil wrestling makes you come.
Oh.
3. I can already picture a boob. Like there's a lot of boobs going on, a lot of things.
I do 8.
8 women.
I would 8 and 8, and yeah, I would do.
That's like a
8
whole
women.
softball team
Yeah.
against you.
That's a bad visual, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I can't wrap my brain around it.
All right, let's go back to the question I posted today. Porn fantasy. You go to a porn fantasy weekend, porn star fantasy weekend. Who do you want to see as your porn star fantasy weekend?
I don't even. The only name I could even tell you is Gemma.
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 That's the
Gemma.
black one.
A Gemma.
Gemma Jameson.
And Gemma Jameson.
But you don't look at porn?
I don't know any porn stars.
Is this character Dave now, or is this
no?
real Dave?
I just generally, it's never been something. Even if I watched porn, I could never tell you what the actress's name is. Like I'm just not into that world.
That's rude. That's rude.
I know a lot about. Part of the fun of porn.
You know what I could tell you? I could tell you if you're gonna ask me that question, I could be like, that one VHS that my dad had in 1982. Like I
Wait, you don't watch porn now? You
I
don't
can
watch
remember
porn now?
specific people.
When you jerk off, what do you jerk off to?
Not porn. It would have to be a very.
What do you jerk off to? Baseball?
Water polo? I have a great imagination.
Danny Azevedo.
You just close your eyes.
And-
To Danny Acevedo.
Hey,
Tony
easy.
Acevedo. Just water polo flubs where they pull their pussy to the side. Have you ever seen that?
Easy.
Dude, have you ever seen that? They water polo, they grab the bathing suits and just pull each other's pussies. It's fucking aggressive.
It's on the
It's called defense.
The underwater cameras on the first Olympics that they had female teams in. They didn't think about the fact there'd be a lot of wardrobe malfunctions.
Yeah, no.
NBC cutting away a lot.
Yeah.
And it's
So labia floating.
pussy.
I mean, I can look up some porn stars just on
Wait,
my
who
history.
am I the only one that still uses porn to jerk off?
No, I'm
I
right
just
here
don't
with
know.
you, buddy. Me and
Pete,
you.
do you use porn to jerk off?
Let's go. This chick.
Mans, you use porn?
Of course, but I don't know.
Dave, so you're
I don't
lying
know
right now?
names.
No.
Are you? Hang on, Dave. Dave, are we
No, I'll
getting?
be
Are we getting Christian Dave right
No,
now?
I'm being super honest with you. It would be like an emergency situation where I'm like, man, I need some help today. Then maybe I would look something up, but I wouldn't watch it long enough to watch the credits and find out their name.
So
at
when
the
you
end.
close your
I
eyes,
would just be like 2 minutes of watching it and be like, hey, that helped.
yeah, that's what we all do.
Yeah.
So if you close your eyes and then you think of what?
I probably exactly what you're watching. I just think of it.
Turkish wrestling.
Turkish wrestling. So you don't know any porn star? Do you know any porn stars? I know a
Yeah,
lot.
Bella Danger, Remy LaCroix, Adriana Chechnik.
Adriana Chechik's pretty fucking awesome.
I think, yeah, if I could get her like a year in, that's what I want. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I mean, I think what she does now is fantastic and sex workers are great. But, you know, it's like, do I want to buy a tire when it's like new or when it's a little bit balled out at the edges?
I want balled out at the edges. I want bald out of the edges, and I want to see the shit you've gotten good at. I want to see, like, oh yeah, I don't want a porn star on the first day where they're doing shit they've seen, right? Think about it. It's like an open.
It's like a comedian.
It's like an open micer.
Wow, great.
Adriana Chechik, when she started, was doing impressions of what she thought porn stars would do. Now, when you watch her, she is doing what she does.
Yeah, it's her point of view.
Yeah, it's her point of view. And
POV. It's her POV.
Same with Jenna.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, I think that's what's cool. What's crazy to me is that some porn stars only did it for like a month.
Yep.
And then they're porn stars forever.
That was that Indian or the one chick with the big tits, super famous.
Mia Khalifa did it for a week.
Yeah.
She did it for 1 week of her life, and then now that's what people call her. And by the way, I remember listening to interviews. I had a friend who interviewed her, and it was like they had like a war about it. And I was like, oh yeah, that would make me fucking crazy if I did something for a week, and then that's what I was defined.
It's kind of like Angela Johnson. You know, she had Bong Kui Kui and the nail lady thing. Yeah. And then that was her for the rest of the time. Angela Johnson is the Mia Khalifa.
Wait, now I'm curious though. So I know, because that makes, but there's like a whole world. It's like I don't get video game worlds. Like you guys were talking earlier about which companies make which video games, and I've just, other than playing Madden, like or something like that, where it's obviously very fun and easy to get into, I don't get into those worlds. I don't know anything about any of that stuff. And I guess porn's like that now too, huh? Where it's like people know the different actors and which studios make it, and there's like porn awards.
I wouldn't say. I would just say that people are it's familiar with the stars of the industry.
Okay, but I guess what I'm saying is it's not just something that you use as a tool. It's something that people are into as like the culture and the entertainment of it.
I wouldn't say we're into the culture of it. It's just like all of a sudden you'll find someone good, and then someone will be like, "Have you like Adriana Chechik is a perfect example." People just started going, "Have you seen her, man? She's fucking amazing." Same with Jenna Jameson. It's like people stand out and separate them. Christy Mack, Mia Khalifa. They separate themselves
in any artist field,
and in any artist field, themselves. And it's not like it's like Owen Gray. I'm not a dude centric porn guy, but the guy's fucking different than everyone else. He does it different, and he just separates himself from every other guy. And there was a whole period, Savannah Sampson, Rocco Siffredi's, like a whole period where like it was. I mean, when you went to the Improv, you would do shows with the Vivid Girls. The Vivid Girls would get on stage with you. They go up. Really? It was crazy. Savannah Sampson came on stage one time and showed me her pussy in the middle of my joke to try to distract me. And
she's in the audience?
On stage with me. There's a picture of it. You can find it. There's a picture of Savannah Sampson showing me her pussy on stage. It's on Facebook.
It's old. It's on MySpace. It's on
me,
Vine
Nick
right
Thune,
now.
and Tom Segura did that show. But it's like, but I think most straight men use some sort of tool when they masturbate. They don't just, not a lot of dudes just close their eyes and imagine. I mean,
no, I don't want to do that. It's like, it's imagining is like the unicycle. I'm already at the car. You have like so many things you got to get through. I'm flying through on a BMW right now.
I'm a close my eyes person, but it's also part of it is also the sex.
Yeah, but you also lived on a futon with a dude for a long time. You had to get good at it.
Can you afford internet yet?
I have some good memories. No. Sextortion. Have you heard of this stuff where they will record your webcam of you jerking off and then send it to your parents and your family?
Happened to a friend of mine.
I'm fine with that.
I just always think about that whenever I put it on my phone, and I just like.
My buddy got one of those messages and said it said $10,000 or this video gets released to your family or whatever, and he was like, "Well, but you shot too high because I'm never gonna come up with 10 grand." So he's like, "I'll give you their email address." He's like, "Cause I'm never gonna be able to pay you."
Wait,
so.
that's not real.
No, I think it's a fake email that people send, but I've gotten it too.
You've gotten it?
Yeah, I've gotten that.
I wonder if I've got.
It's actually real. I saw a Vice article about it, a Vice piece on it. How it is real. They actually do it, and then they just get money that way. It's not. You have to be a pretty good hacker to do it, though. So it's not super.
You're gonna have
common.
to release mine on the internet, and it's gonna be my fucking cross to bear for the rest of my life.
I don't care. Yeah, no one I know is looking to watch me jerk off. So if my parents saw it for 2 seconds, they're not gonna finish the film.
There's a couple that I'd be really embarrassed of. I remember one time thinking, if anyone's recording this would not go down right. I was listening to the eulogy of Patrice O'Neal's funeral, and porn came up, and I kept listening, but watched the porn and jerked off to them eulogizing Patrice.
Yeah, probably.
And that would not be a good one to.
Luckily, no one will ever hear about that.
I don't know. For me, I guess the thing that's more exciting is the backstory and the like if you're at a strip club, right?
Hold on. What? Are you talking about when you imagine? Do you do backstory in your head?
Just sexuality.
You're like,
probably, yeah.
Dave's sitting there in his car and he's like, someone's pipes are leaky.
He's got a storyboard outline.
Yeah. Oh wait.
I'm more interested in.
She can't really reach the pipes, but she's bending over. There's a knock at the door. Hold on. She gets up. She walks over to the door. Her nipples are peeking through her blouse. Is that what you do?
Well,
she says, "Do you know water polo?"
Coach Dave wants to fix them, I'm sure. Right?
Yes, 100%. But I'm more interested in for me, I think there's something sexier and more arousing about two people that are fucking in the street, like bandsaw. And now I'm like, well, I want to know how that happened, and I want to know what's up with those people, than just another hot chick who comes on screen in a sea of 1,000 hot chicks who I probably know exactly what her story is. And she's boring as shit.
I would rather see people I know naked than people I don't know naked, if that's what you're saying.
No,
I don't. Like, it would be cool if you were like, if you could go through the day and be like type in flight attendant.
Like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Flight 707. Blonde hair, and then you'd
she
be like,
flirted with you a little bit, and then you know a little bit of her backstory, and then
now we just sound like pervs.
That's OnlyFans, though. I think it's OnlyFans. What you guys are
OnlyFans is it's interesting going on OnlyFans. I didn't know you weren't supposed to sign up for people's OnlyFans, because if someone shows on OnlyFans, I always try to support them, and I sign up for their OnlyFans, and then everyone's like, Bert bought my OnlyFans, and I was like, yeah, but why would you have it if you didn't want people to buy it? Like, I thought we were doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Should I hide it? Yeah. Like, I don't know. I was driving from Malibu. This is when we were shooting Trip Flip. I was driving from Malibu back to the valley, and I was with Tyler, and we were driving through the canyons, and we saw a car at one of those turnouts, and the car's there, and a girl's leaning into the window, and a guy's standing outside the car. Just fucking her, and he gave us the thumbs up, and we were like, just kept driving, like, yeah.
That's awesome.
It's way cooler to see stuff in real life, obviously, but we probably all know every time we've ever seen anybody doing it in real life, right? We have a file that's a half dozen of them, right?
But if you start jerking off to somebody doing it in real life, then you're a weirdo.
Then you're a creep.
Yeah.
There was
I'm a bad guy now for jerking off to you guys.
Erotic things ever. There was a senior. When I was in 7th grade, there was a senior who was fucking her boyfriend in the weight room every day during their break.
Hell yeah.
They would go up to the weight room, and you could watch her fucking head bob as she rode him on the weight bench. And I remember, and the girl, what's even crazier is the girl that I was dating in 7th grade. But I wasn't technically dating her. We just kissed a few times. And we were kind of hanging out and dating, but all we did was really kiss. And we kissed a bunch. It was like fucking awesome. She was hardcore turned on. She's in 8th grade, and she was like, they go up there and fuck. We got to go watch them. And so she brought me in. I'm in 7th grade into the gymnasium, and we watched them walk up, and we watched them fucking bang on the thing. And you see the girl's head, and she's like looking around, and we're just sitting there like. I think about that so much.
Yeah.
I think, and what's crazy at 7th grade, I was like, that's all I want in life. That's all I want. If I can just get that, if I can get there. I remember going in 11th grade or 12th grade, we went up to, this is crazy how I think about sex. In 12th grade, we went to, I had lost my virginity, but I was not like comfortable with sex. I was like bad at it.
In 12th grade.
I lost it in 11th grade, but in 12th grade, we went up to University of Florida. We went to the SAE house, and Scott Bobier's brother, Jay Bobier, let us stay in his house. We partied, and everyone got fucked up, and then the next morning, Jay Bobier got up for school, and the hottest fucking chick in the world just had one of his fraternity shirts on and nothing else. You could see her tits through the shirt. She had no panties. And she was just in his bed, and she was like, when are you coming back? And he goes, I got this class and then I'll be back. And she goes, well, get rid of these kids and let's hang out. And he was like, hey, be out of here in an hour. And we were like, I was like, what are they doing? Like an idiot. And his brother Scott's like, they're fucking. And I was like, oh my God, if I one day could have a girl waiting in bed for me, I would go to class and be like, okay, I'm going to bust my ass really hard for this hour. And then I'm going to go back. And then it happens and it's never as good as. That
probably imprinted on you as the braless shirt. Well, maybe that's just
braless, dude. I'm a hardcore sucker for braless. Like,
isn't that the greatest trend to happen in the last 10 years? That women feel so strong, and I'm happy that they're. But goddamn, when you get to see a faint nipple underneath a t-shirt, there is nothing better in the goddamn world.
But it coincides with the trend of them not shaving their armpits too, though.
What? Not in LA.
It's like a thing now. People don't shave their armpits.
Yeah,
whatever. As long as I see nipple, I'm fine. I like. And by the way, and I'm talking about like Leanne is not a bra person, and she will not wear a bra if up until the doorbell rings. When the doorbell rings, bra goes on.
Yeah,
I would do anything around that house for her as long as that bra's not on.
Yeah,
it's so fucking hot, and she just is like, ugh, and I'm like, what the fuck? And by the way, I walk out in a pair of pajama pants with no underwear, and everyone's like, "Dad." But,
it doesn't work. It doesn't work the other way.
Isn't it funny how there's certain like trends or looks or something throughout the decades, but certain ones just hit you? Like I remember in college, it became trendy for girls to wear. They would wear really, really tight white shirt with baggy overalls over it. And I thought it was the cutest thing for chick. Whenever a chick would be on camera wearing that, I was just,
I was in college when you were in. I don't remember that one.
Yeah, maybe it was short.
Our thing was, this was like the hottest thing was girls would wear tops that buttoned in their crotch. Do you remember that?
Yeah, they do that again right now.
And their jeans, you could see the sides of their hips out of the things. I just remember being like, motherfucker.
Yeah, do you remember low rise pants in the 2000s?
Yes,
where it would go right above.
Yes, you could see
right
a little bit of pubic hair.
Oh my God,
Christina Aguilera,
yeah, and Britney.
That's the best example.
If you could bring that with no bras, I think we met the pinnacle of fashion. And I'll start working out.
That's fashion.
Grown women with pigtails.
Grown women with pigtails.
No, pigtails.
Yeah. I'm not. Pigtails remind me of little girls. I'm not a pigtail guy.
That's probably fair.
Because that's all just little girls.
Yeah, you got daughters.
I'm very curious about where your fantasies go now.
Overalls and pigtails.
And pigtails and no visuals. Just like, imagination.
Num-nums and
backstories.
I feel like I'm learning a lot about myself in this conversation, guys.
You can't look up the porn you want to.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here soul searching a little bit as you guys are talking, and I think another thing about porn to me, and maybe you're not supposed to say this out loud because people will be offended. But who are in that industry? No, man. No, I it's a little sad to me.
By the way, you're getting an accent. Does anyone else catching that Dave's created an accent? You're getting a Midwest accent.
Maybe the COVID?
I don't know. You have definitely picked up a Midwest accent.
I do that a lot when I hang out with people that have an accent, but I haven't hung out with anyone. I've been in quarantine for 2 weeks, so I don't know where I got it.
It's a little bit sad.
Maybe I've been watching this show called The Witcher. Maybe I picked it up from that.
No, it's no.
That ain't
porn
good?
is not.
Like
you can find the sad part of porn if you look for it, but you can also find the empowering part of porn.
I'm sure, but maybe that's why I should get to know some of the stars and stuff and know their story, because I watch it and I just always default to the sad one. I'm like, I'm worried about that.
See, that's how I feel about strippers. Whereas where there's the third wall or whatever with the porn stars,
do you feel sad for strippers, Dave?
Do you
feel sad for strippers,
But with
Dave?
the strippers, you're right there. You could make a difference in their life. You can
by giving them $1 at a time.
By giving them $1 at a time and throwing it at their pussies. This is
making a big difference.
Making it your life. I'm Coach Dave.
Let me make a difference for you.
Night.
You're welcome.
I don't understand how you can be into strippers but not into porn.
I don't know. Do you think I would like strip clubs? I've never been before.
The freaking games last week.
Holy shit.
How great were the fucking games last week?
Good.
Holy shit. Well, we got 4 teams remaining in the NFL playoffs, and that means that only 4 teams are left for you to bet on at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Counting down to Super Bowl 56. New customers can get 56-1 odds on any team. Bet just $5 and get 280 in free bets if your team wins. God, I love DraftKings. I love DraftKings. DraftKings is like the established place where you know you can go and they'll take care of you. It's like I don't want to say the McDonald's, but they're probably it's like the Mercedes-Benz.
It's definitely the one that I trust.
I'm the only one it's what I've always been using. If you're not a new customer, you can experience the conference championships with the same game parlays. Combine multiple bets from the same game for a bigger payout. The more legs you add, the more money you can win. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Right now, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code Bertcast and get 56-1 odds on any NFL team. Bet just $5 and win 280 in free bets if your team wins. That promo code is Bertcast for 56-1 odds at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Remember, you got to be 21. Must be 21 or older in New Jersey, Indiana, or Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Minimum 5 deposit and a $1 wager require. 1 per customer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. If you got a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. As soon as I wake up, I'm on the go. The second my feet hit the ground, I like to get on the treadmill, and I like to start rolling my day. I start with my gratitude. I get my coffee. I go to my computer. Next thing you know, it's noon and I haven't eaten anything. No wonder I'm hangry. But what are my options? Run through a drive-through and grab something? No, it's not good for me, and I think I don't want to die of a heart attack. That's why I have Huel. Huel has helped me stay on top of my health, and I cannot thank them enough. Huel Human Fuel provides all the carbs, proteins, fats, and fibers, and 27 essential vitamins and minerals you need, and everything is plant-based. They have a wide range of convenient, on-the-go options for someone who wants to eat healthy but doesn't have a ton of time, like me. Huel powder comes in the classic flavors like vanilla, chocolate, salted caramel, and more. Just mix it with water, and in the free shaker that you'll get with your first order, you're good to go. There's also pre-mixed, ready-to-drink options that help you save even more time. For even more protein, less carbs, and naturally gluten-free, there's Huel Black Edition. It's the ultimate human fuel. And Huel's new hot and savory meals are fantastic. They've got mac and cheese, Mexican chili, Thai green curry, and a few others that you have to try, and they take less than 5 minutes to make. I'm telling you right now, sometimes when I get overwhelmed and I haven't eaten and I'm running through the kitchen, I don't want to sit and try to heat up some stuff real quick and hope that I'm going to just feel better. I love to grab a Huel and then know that I'm taken care of until dinner time. It's great if you're trying to stay healthy. Huel is proof that fast food can be good. I love it. And you're going to love it too. And right now, you can get free shipping on your first order, plus a shaker and a free t-shirt. Go to Huel.com/Bert. That's HUEL.com/Bert to get free shipping on your first order, plus a shaker and a t-shirt. Huel.com/Bert.
Strip clubs do make me weird. I don't like the strip club. It does.
I don't either.
I do.
Yeah, I know. I know that's fine. I just never, so this is my thing about strip clubs, right? If let's say you go there $100, $200, I think if I went on a date with a girl or a lot more. Okay, a lot more.
By the way, hang on. Let's restart this. If you go, you're not taking out any money. No one's ever paid for anything out of their strip club. I'm be giving everyone cash. Keep going.
But I've never gone with you yet. But let's say I go on my own. I got $200. I think if I just took a girl out with $200, I could probably fuck. And it wouldn't.
Yeah, but that's not what a strip club's about.
It's not. Yeah,
strip clubs more.
I maybe haven't done
it.
It's
a party,
a camaraderie.
Yeah,
it's like more of like an event. It's not. This is gonna sound weird, but it's not about sex, and it is about naked women, but it's more about guys. I don't know, getting to be guys around each other, and that's why I never understood when guys brought their chicks to strip clubs. I was like, now you're making it about sex. Like when I knew a dude who him and his wife would go to strip clubs and they get lap dances together, and I'm like, ugh, exactly. Yeah. And then he was like, she likes it, and I was like, No,
It's like getting a massage as a couple. Like, isn't that weird?
It's like I don't understand. I never understood that because I was like, when I get a lap dance, first of all, I'm not trying to fuck her. I don't know. It's just, and by the way, I haven't gotten a lap dance in a while. But the last lap dance I got, I think, was at Christie's in Cleveland, and I pulled the plug on it. And I was like, honey, I think you're trying to get me to cheat on my wife.
Yeah.
She was like, that's the point, right? And I was like, no, it's not the point. So yeah, I think I like, but I grew up in Florida, and I think that was kind of like
strip clubs are it was like going to a bar in Florida.
Yeah.
It was just very normal. People would just go and hang out. And
we should have strip club tonight.
I'm down. I've only been to a strip club in Mexico.
Oh my God,
no,
Steve!
That's
only
a very
for sex.
Steve,
You're not
that's
like hanging out, being like, "This is fun." You're like with some like dude from like Hong Kong who's like throwing yen at some woman and yelling at her.
You never want to.
Very gnarly.
That's a great way to talk about cum. I'm just tossing yen at this bitch.
You never want to do anything for the first time in Mexico because the bar is not like I got my first massage at a resort in Mexico, and looking back on it now, because I've gotten a lot of massages, I was like, that guy definitely molested me. At the time I thought, I was like, this is what happens in a massage. It's like an intimate
kissing.
Yeah. They normally spend a lot of time on your inner thigh. Like
that guy definitely molested me.
Yeah. But then after you get 3 or 4 other, you're like, there hasn't been one like that first one.
Yeah. No, Mexico's a bad place to go to your first strip club. So is South Africa. So is Russia. Like those are different than strip clubs. Are more like brothels.
Yeah, I went to the Hong Kong club, and that's like fucking gnarly. Like to the point where I was like, I'm just gonna stay back because there's like people putting whipped cream in things that aren't supposed to have whipped cream in them.
Yeah.
And there's like throwing things, and I don't want nothing. I don't want to go to a strip club where there's a splash zone.
Dude, we went. There were some really sketchy strip clubs in Tampa growing up. The one was called Seven Seas.
Well, Mons Venus was like
Mons
creme
Venus.
la creme.
Mons Venus was next level.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. If you got your grooming at Mons Venus as a high school kid, and then you took what your skill set was at a strip club from Mons Venus into any other strip club in the world, you were running at a different pace than everyone else. You're like literally sitting down like, hold on, I'm going to change pants for this lap dance. And they're like, what? You're like, Umbros. I'm putting on Umbros. And they're like, of course. It was Mons Venus was, I mean, they would all but play with your dick. But here's the crazy thing is like, we went to Mons Venus when we were in high school. And so no one had extra cash for a lap dance.
Yeah.
Like no one could get a lap. You'd be like, well, where are you going to get fucking $20 for a lap dance? You just went in and looked at naked girls.
Yeah, there was like 50 girls on the floor at one time, right? Like on staff, and they were all smoke shows. Every one of them was an A, you know.
Yes.
And it was just like you walked in there, and it just the place was alive, you know.
I think I'm moving this camera around, by the way.
Oh, you are. That's a mess.
Well, here then, I got a quick question. Oh, you do yours.
No.
I'll ask my question.
I was gonna tell you the first time I went to a strip club was in high school, my senior year of high school, and my parents went out of town, and so all my buddies said they were told their parents they're gonna sleep at my house. So we're shooting pool and hanging out and listening to music, and it's like midnight or something, and one of the guys is like, let's go to a strip club. I heard about this place down in Homestead that just lets people in, they'll check IDs. Homestead's like the redneck part of Miami, right?
Yeah.
So we get in the car, we drive down there. It's literally a double wide trailer. We walked in, there's no one at the door. So we just walked in, and the stage was just a door from like another room, and they had stacked egg crates like 2 high, and they outlined a stage. So then she would just be inside the egg crates, right?
Oh.
So the guy walks over to us, we're already in there, and he just starts going, I'm gonna need to see IDs, boys. And we're pulling like, shaky, pulling our IDs out like he's just gonna magically be okay with it. And then he looks at my one bud who looked really young, and he goes, you could just hit the door right now. So then we were like, well, if you don't let him in, we don't want to stay either. And we stormed out. We're like scared, right? So now we're like, dude, we gotta get in somewhere right now. The seed's been planted. We stopped at every strip club from there to South Beach, right? And we just got denied, made it like 5 minutes at this one, got denied, So we finally go into Club Madonna, and they just kind of like, you could write your birthday down on a napkin and show it to them. And they're like, cool, and go in, So we go in there, and it is just like, we can't believe we're in there, and they don't serve booze. So it's not like, so that's why they kind of didn't care, So we're having a blast, and we probably had like $20 or $30 a piece on us, and we blew that real fast, right? So I'm like, well, I'm gonna go to the ATM, right? And I go out to the ATM, and it was like $15 or something like that for the fee for the ATM. And I'm like, oh shit, at the time, at a high school kid, that's a lot of money, you know?
$15 on an ATM?
Yeah, because they knew you were gonna need money. They were making their money somehow, right? So I decide, well, what I'll do is I'm supposed to go like back to school shopping tomorrow or whatever.
Back to school?
Yeah.
Back to school shopping.
There you go.
Go back for some strippers tomorrow.
And so I'll just take a bunch of money out now, and I'll pay cash when I go shopping, and then that'll justify the high fee, right? So I take like $200 or $300 out. Well, it comes out of the ATM in Madonna bucks. It's fake money you could only spend there. And I go up to the lady and I'm like, I'm gonna need to speak to a manager about this because I'm gonna need to exchange this for real money. And they just laugh in my face. And they're like, well, we could call the cops and you could talk to them. I'm like, nope, we're cool. Like, you know. So now I'm stuck with $300 and I'm flipping out. Like, how am I gonna explain this to my parents? It's a lot of money at that point.
Yeah.
So I had to spend the rest of the school year selling it off to other kids at my school for like pennies on the dollar.
Oh my God.
And just try to recoup as much money as I could throughout the year. Like, oh, if you show up with Madonna money, they'll be more likely to let you in, man. And he's like, that's a good idea. Yeah. So wait, they just let you in? Yeah. You guys could get in totally this weekend. And I'm selling like,
Tell them
right,
Dave sent you.
give me $40. I'll give you $50 of Madonna money. Here you go.
Here's my question, and I want it answered right now. Tampa, Atlanta, Houston. What's the best stripper city?
Well, if you're black, Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta, 100%.
Atlanta's the strip clubs. The black strip clubs in Atlanta are fucking through the roof. I mean, some of the best dancers, strippers you'll ever see in your fucking life. The pole work is meticulously amazing. The pole work.
Yeah,
dude.
no, that's the thing. I mean, they can do like
around
walking.
and
They got like a walking thing.
Yeah, Tampa's more of like. I mean,
Like
I don't. I mean this respectfully, but more. I don't mean this mean because I plan on going to strip clubs in Tampa. More white trashy, like more like.
Might get some.
I don't know. Like I've been to a few. The last strip club I went to in Tampa was out in just on the cusp of Ybor. It was my buddy Cal had set it up, and it was like,
Oh, well, probably fun.
yeah, it was fun, but it was like I don't know. It was more like whatever. It wasn't like Vegas has great strip clubs.
Really?
Used to. I can't say that they do anymore, but used to. Olympic Gardens was fucking amazing. Because it's more of a transplant. LA's got some pretty great strip clubs. They used to, yeah.
Like Sam's is good.
No, we used to go to
Spearmint Rhino?
Cheetahs. Never been to Spearmint Rhino.
But you can't drink, right? I only want to go to a strip club that they get naked and I can drink because I don't want to see someone naked and I'm sober. That's fucking weird.
It is a little weird.
And then I don't want to be drunk and I'm only looking at tits. It's like, this is not, we're not
And then you're paying for $15 sodas.
Yeah, it's like, what is happening here?
I think Oregon is actually drinking and badge.
Yeah. Well,
most places are.
There's a strip club. There are a few strip clubs right around here that open at 6. There's that vegan strip club I sent you.
Yeah.
Dave, did you see that that project I sent you?
No.
I sent you an ad for the project. It is a 75-hour Navy SEAL course.
I'm in.
That's amazing.
75 hours. The man searching for answers. Most men live lives of quiet desperation. They live frustrated, passive, and unfulfilled lives. I believe 97% of men fit into this category of quiet desperation, what I call the walking dead. But ask a man how he's doing, and the response always will be doing good. It's difficult for most men to admit they have a problem they're dealing with because they've been taught real men don't talk about their emotions. Real men stuff their emotions down, avoid meaningful conversations, bottle up their emotions until they flip their lids and blow it on someone. Well, brother, my name is Bedros Koulian, and I'm the founder of the Modern Day Night Project.
All right. Well, can you give context to why that made you think of me? I don't fit in that category, but it's just that I've claimed that I think I could have been in a Navy SEAL.
Where's Shane to explain this?
Dave said he could be a Navy SEAL. Now, here's the thing: I don't, but I like the test of it. A 75-hour boot camp.
Yeah,
that's how many days?
Now,
3 days.
I wouldn't have had that same drunken argument about whether I could be a Navy SEAL today. I think 43-year-old Dave and 21-year-old Dave physically is very different, but that would be fun to do. And yeah, I think testing your limits. That's why I'm obsessed with the idea of swimming from Catalina, because I don't know if I could actually do it or not, but it'd be really fun to test your limits.
At what point would you? Here's the question: do you give up easily?
I do not give up easy if there's something I care about.
Because there's like, it's interesting. If I get on a treadmill, and like I did this the other day, the morning we left, I got on the treadmill and I started running, and I thought, I'm not gonna give up. I said I'm gonna allow myself to give up 3 times. Meaning I'm gonna give up. I'm tired, and then I won't give up that time. I'm gonna do it 3 times, and on the 3rd time I'm gonna walk. But I'm gonna say, and the first time I wanted to give up was at 10 minutes, and I went, okay, I'm good. The next time I wanted to give up was at 10 minutes and it was 2 minutes after 10 minutes.
12.
So 12 minutes, and I was like, well, I need to shove this give up thing down because I only get one more of those.
Yeah.
And so I just sat there with one more give up, knowing that that's when I'd walk. And I just kept running, and I went, that's interesting. It's amazing how my first one was at 10 minutes, which kind of makes sense. At a mile, you're like, I should walk, and then I didn't. But the next one was in 2 minutes, and then I was like, that came so fast. And the third one was another 22 minutes of like,
whoa, nice.
Ended up running 3 miles.
Yeah. But see, like, running's another story. Like, I'm not a good runner. I've never been passionate about running. I've always thought running sucked. So I think it would be harder for me to push myself.
Well, hold on. If you're talking, hold on. That's the whole give up thing, is like doing stuff you don't want to do. It, like, I could definitely eat chocolate until I'm sick and then people go, wow, I'm amazed he never gave up. The whole point about being a Navy SEAL is they're not doing the shit you really enjoy, Dave.
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole definition.
That's the whole
They
definition.
love sitting in
yeah.
the ocean, freezing cold. And
Yeah. I would have enjoyed the aquatic.
Running's a definite part of this Navy SEAL thing.
Yeah. That might be the
In the sand.
Yeah, that might be the deal breaker.
All I see is uncomfortable clothes. Isn't that crazy? Is my tactile issues light up. I watched the video. It's pretty fucking cool. I don't think you sleep for 75 hours. I'm almost certain you don't sleep for 75 hours. And at 75 hours, they do that ocean thing where they interlock arms. They do polar plunges.
I shot that, the making the grade, and when they're actually doing the Navy SEAL training.
At what point in there did you think you would have given up?
Horrific. Let me just describe one of the things they do, where they interlock the arms and they fall backwards into the surf together.
Yeah.
And surf's coming over their face upside down, and then the guys will be in their full uniforms, and then they'll have to run up this sandy incline, and then they call them sugar cookies. They lay down, roll around in the sand.
Ooh.
And then they do this several times, and then they'll go like pick up your rucksacks and run, and they don't know for how long. They have no idea. It might be running out of the beach, but when we did it, they ran them for like 15 kilometers. And they had sand and stuff. I mean, It was nasty, and you couldn't. I mean, it's crazy what they do. It's
If you're not a fan of running, that may not be something.
Yeah, I don't think I understood what a Navy SEAL was.
Yeah,
I thought it was like a seal. You go on your back.
People too.
Maybe I'm thinking of dolphin trainer.
What part of this did you think you'd excel at?
They drink beers, right, with their buddies on the sail.
I got a little
the part where you sit back after training and say, I'm a Navy SEAL.
The retired part. I feel like I could be a retired Navy SEAL very well.
I get a little mouthy after a few IPAs, and maybe the most the thing that I commit to the most is actually just arguing the argument that I could be a Navy SEAL, not actually being one. But it was pissing Shane Gillis off a lot that I was so confident that I said I could be one, and I think I just enjoyed being a catalyst in that argument.
Yeah. That was one of the more epic conversations we've had here. And your
guys all know
your teeth were like
red.
Ford Tempo maroon, like
red wine. I could be an elite athlete.
I wasn't there for that one.
It was epic. I mean, but Dave all but told someone that dropped out of the United States military after a week or like a month when he was a child. All but told him, the thing you had a hard time with, I could do it at a higher level and easier. And Shane was like, first of all, did you play high school football? And Dave goes, I did, freshman year. And he goes, why didn't you play all the thing? And Dave goes, I quit. And he goes, Shane goes, so you quit? And he goes, no, I've never quit at anything. He goes, you just said you quit at high school football. And he goes, Dave goes, I wasn't interested in high school football.
Yeah. But see, this
Wow.
this is how I look at that situation.
The best part was
I know
he
it's
goes,
not going to bode well for me. Is I look at it and go, hey man, I thought I would like football and had the balls that none of my friends did to go, I'm going to go play football. And I went and played football in a place that is very competitive and hard to play football. And after doing that for a sample size of a year and a half, I go, it's not that fun.
That's like, it's a lot of times as a Navy SEAL, you go, this isn't that
It's
fun.
not that fun.
Not that fun.
But then,
I had the balls to try
It's not
it.
that fun.
I'm not having a blast here.
I'm not having a blast. Hey, Sarge, this isn't one of my favorite things to do.
When do the IPAs come in?
Yeah, when do the IPAs come in? Hey, can,
where's the point where all the guys go to the bar and we sing in our whites and our, our
can I
uniforms?
stand up and give a speech to these guys? Because I'm better at that, telling them how I can do this than doing it.
I would give good military speeches.
Yeah, well, it was one of my favorite argument was when Dave goes, Shane, I think you're forgetting the fact that I was a water polo athlete in college. And Shane goes, I think you're forgetting the fact that I played a real sport.
Yeah. I forgive him for that.
And that was one of the more, but the 75 hours, that's a fucking, my anxiety would get to me pretty quickly. I'm not good at taking direction now as an adult.
The thing is, it's crazy. Is there's the time limits and stuff. You don't know what you're gonna do, and and that's what messes with your head. It's not like we're gonna do a 10K and it's not like you're training to do a marathon. They'll have you do bizarre stuff. They'll have you swim, and then you don't know how long you're gonna swim for. There's a swim, and that's what it messes with your head, because it's just like it would be like being in battle where you don't know when the battle's gonna end. You have to just be ready all the time.
Yeah, the only thing running I ever have is I'm like, that I can, if I just meet to that one point, I can keep going and keep going. If I don't know that, I would quit so fucking quick.
Yeah, I don't. I would love to do this thing, the project. I would love to do it. I would love to try it.
Let's do it.
I would. Well, then I think to myself, I would like spending the weekend with my daughters more.
Yeah,
And then you'd be doing it for like 3 hours, and you'd be exhausted, and you'd be in the woods being eaten by ticks and stuff.
What's the
and then you'd be
longest
like,
you've ever worked
when's
out straight?
lunch?
The longest I've ever worked out straight was the LA Marathon, 5 hours and 33 minutes. Is probably the longest I take
Exerted energy and done exercise.
I've done that a couple times. I rode my bike from Philadelphia to New Jersey. I think the thing you're lacking, Dave, is a project.
Self-awareness?
No, a project. Like you need. I understand every man's want to test himself. Like I really get that, and I've done that a lot. I did the first Tough Mudder when the Tough Mudder first came out. I did the first edition of the Tough Mudder, and I did it with Andrew's brother, who was in the Army, and there is a fucking incredible value in testing yourself, pushing yourself past your limit, and surprising yourself. There's a real value, and I think that is what you're looking for, or what you're maybe blindly looking for when you say statements like that. And I understand that.
Yeah. I feel like I've had that a lot of my life, actually, but now I'm at an age where that doesn't come along very often.
Like where have you had that a lot in your life?
Well, I've been able to test myself in sports and in like spearfishing and in water polo, and there's things athletically I've done where you go, all right, I've shot a fish at 40 feet. Now I'm gonna try to shoot a fish at 50 feet, and you push yourself and you realize that you're good at this compared to most people, you know what I mean? But at this point in my life, that doesn't happen. I don't go out and play Masters water polo and train enough it's just fun. Now it's beer league, it's beer league at this point. So I think it is exciting to think that, okay, am I ever going to have that again? Is there ever going to be something I do? And that's probably why people get into marathons and get into triathlons and stuff at this point in their life. Because I'm never going to train hard enough to be good at golf.
When I was your age, that's when I did all that. That's when I ran the LA Marathon.
Yeah.
I did the triathlon. I did the Tough Mudder. I did the Spartan race. I did all of them. I actually did all of them over a period of time. I did the inflatable race. I did the chalk race. I did the fucking all of them.
I have zero interest in testing myself whatsoever.
Really?
I'm done with tests. I'm coasting. I'm like the last 2 weeks of your senior year. I'm not showing up. I'm not writing anything down. I didn't bring a back. I got senioritis for my life. I'm ready to die. I'm going to just put it on coast. I'm retired.
Don't you have, I wonder about that, because you, like, when you did, there is an athletic part of you that you just kind of ignore.
Yeah. Like I can put away pain very easy and put away things like that and just push through things. But I just don't. Like you always we've been talking nonstop about your happiness journal. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on here. And Jason Momoa's thing of just making him happy. And at this point in my life, we've all had terrible lives and people's been worse than mine. I just kind of want to be happy. And I think my life's going to a happy way. I'm just going to go full throttle towards the happiness. And as long as I don't blow out a kidney or gain 500 pounds, I'm just going to somersault down. I'm going to sugar cookie down that hill, but it's going to be sugar and cinnamon and IPAs. Yeah. And I'm just going to enjoy life until the wheels fall off. And I don't
feel like there's any part of you, like, so I feel the same way, but I notice that if I don't work out, my happiness depletes. Meaning when I work out, my happiness rebounds. So since we're talking about this happiness journal, I'll share the one. I haven't really talked much about it, but I'll.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. It's fine. I don't mind at all. I think I brought it up maybe with. I talked about it yet. Yeah. This is my happiness journal, and what I do is I identify things that make me happy. Like so it's based off of, not to like go, whatever. I started noticing that when I got COVID, I couldn't tell if I was sick or not because I've been hungover like that before.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'm just hungover. Yeah. And that was really scary to get this big disease that we've all been waiting for, and to get it and not know that you had it, to not know that to be in such a deficit on a daily basis and push through it. Like that's the problem is I push through it every fucking day. If I feel like shit, I don't allow myself to feel like shit. I get up and do it. And I either work out or I go snowboarding or I get up and have a cup of coffee and I make sure shit gets done. And so then I was like, well, fuck, man. Like and then I listened to Rob Dyrdek, and Rob Dyrdek said on a podcast, he said he could quantify exactly how many bad days he had in a year. He said I had 12 bad days last year. And because what he does is he quantifies every day and writes down, I don't know what he does. He didn't go into detail about it. I would love to have him on my podcast and have him figured out. So I started going through and finding things that made me happy. And then one morning, and this is when the happiness journal really showed up for me, I had gone to bed that night and I'd said in my head, I'm going to get up, I'm going to get Georgia and Isla coffee. I'm going to get Leanne, me and Georgia Isla coffee at Starbucks. I'm going to work out, and then we're going to fly to Portland. And I woke up that next morning when my alarm went off, and I went, I'm going to sleep. And I said that to him, I'm just going to sleep. And then I was like, hold on. I have identified that things that make me happy are, after I work out, I feel very, very good. And after I spend time with my daughters, I feel very good. I said, these are two things I've identified that bring me happiness. And they're right here. They don't have to work to get them. I just have to get up, go get coffees, come home. And so I just said, let's just go get coffees. And if I don't work out, then I've done one of the two. So I went and I got the coffees. I came home and Georgia was up and we were hanging out. And she was like, hey, would love a breakfast burrito for after my lacrosse practice. And I was like, yeah. And I made her a breakfast burrito. And now all of a sudden I'm like, up, I feel good. And then she says to me, you definitely should work out today. And I was like, really? And she goes, yeah, you should. So I got on the treadmill. I did that thing where I was like, quit 3 times. I ran 30 minutes, got in the sauna for 15 minutes, got in the polar plunge for 3, got out. And then you guys were all in my fucking man cave. And I was like, I'm ready. I'm here. And I felt fucking amazing. And that changed the way I was looking at everything. I was like, I need to find the things that make me happy. And one of the things I've been doing on this trip, one of the things is trying to figure out my alcohol intake. Because I love to drink after a show.
Hell yeah.
It makes me happy. It is one of the things that makes me happy. When we didn't drink that first night, I was not happy.
I mean, this has been the most sober or like sobering trip we've had so far. It's been nice.
But I was like, I do not like waking up and being like, And I was like, and then the other thing, I was like, I love snowboarding. Like, I love it. So let's go snowboarding every day we can. And so I was like, and so right now I'm still trying to figure out how to utilize this journal, but just identifying the Jason Momoa approach of, it's his diet of just eating the things that he likes that are healthy. And like, but then I go to eat voodoo donuts and it makes me happy for a second. Yeah. Now I feel like
I think the merger of the crossroads of like what Steve's saying and what you're saying, and that thing you read where guys are going to that project thing, is I think there's a lot of dudes like that in the world who have nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like we have a lot of things that fill our passion pockets in our brain that might not even be, you know, outside athletics. We have the strive to be better and better at stand-up comedy, and something we care about doing, and we like cooking food, and we like things like that. And we have hobbies in our life to give us purpose, and people that give us purpose, right? Even if it's just making a breakfast burrito for your daughter. But I do think that there's a part of me that every now and then gets sad when
sad? You're doing
sad.
it. You really are. I'm telling you, man. So I think COVID fucked your. I think you have an accent from COVID. I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking, man. I think it's that brain inflammation. What if we found out that people from Wisconsin just had brain inflammations? Whoa. And that's why they talk the way they do, is because the pressure there was higher. Oh, what if you found out?
What if it made me? What if I crush on stage because people like my cadence? My cadence just unlocked everything.
Oh my God! What if you're like Theo, who's like his accent adds to his fucking and then all of a sudden now you have a Midwestern accent. You should lean into your Midwestern accent.
All right, I'll do it. But I think that like, so for example, you know what made me really happy? You know what made me really happy is I grew up wakeboarding, right? And I don't think I'll ever be able to throw a flip on a wakeboard again. And my knees hurt, and it's just I can't do it. It's just physically too hard to be good at it. I can get up and I could carve and it would look cool, but I can't do the things I used to do that made it cool to do, you know?
I could do a flip on a wakeboard.
But can you land it though? I can
throw a flip on a wakeboard. I bet I would surprisingly land it, but not stick it. Yeah. Like I bet I'd land on the board and then be like, what the fuck? Yeah. And then fly out of the way.
Yeah. This is going to sound sad, but I can throw it and I can get all the way around, but I don't have the grip strength to hold on to the rope anymore. When I land and stick it, the rope goes flying out of my hands. Yeah.
Hey buddy,
but
how you doing?
My when we did that thing in Colorado where we did the little wake skating behind the boat, I go, oh, this kind of fills that same portion of passion of the surfing, but it's a lot easier to do at this point in our life, you know?
Yeah.
You're not flying around. So there's stuff like that I think physically gives me that what I'm missing in that regard. But
I think you need to challenge yourself. I think you need to swim across Catalina by yourself. Don't tell anyone you're doing it.
Climb El Cap. How about that?
Yeah.
That was my last challenge.
Kilimanjaro.
That was my last challenge. And like you said, happiness, Steve. I can be happy now, never challenging myself like that ever again. That was it. Done.
Well, he's my Kilimanjaro. Like, since being with him, every day I'm with you, you've heard me say, this is the best day of my life. So every day I do shit with Bert, it's my that's why I feel, was I this happy before I got to hang out with this guy? No, but it's like everything I've done has been the coolest shit I've ever done in my life. So it's like everything's just cherries on top of a fucking sundae now. So that's why I like it. But don't you know that Dave's got some opinions on some other things that might be
I'm really
good?
proud of you, buddy. It's really great.
Yeah, man. That last thing you did, I would never want to do that.
Yeah, it's fucking badass.
I couldn't do it, and I wouldn't do it.
All the stuff Mans does
absolutely.
Is pretty badass. I just could
terrifying. And that was, there was sequences of things like I would do every once in a while, crazy stuff like that. But that was it.
It's 5:45.
Oh,
why?
Okay.
I got a shower.
Show's about to start.
Right? It was a 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock show. Yep.
Yeah.
No, we're fine. They can't start without us. It's an hour 43 right now. No way.
It's fine. All the boys hanging out. It's been fun.
Yeah, I wish I was drinking. Maybe we'll do this again late night. And do it
we should leave this set up.
We should get a few IPAs in us and then revisit the Navy SEAL thing, and then I'll give you some real opinions.
Okay.
Do it tonight.
Yeah, we'll do it tonight.
It's the first night we can drink. We're drinking probably.
We can go to a strip club tonight too. I think COVID made my drinking less. Cause every time I drink, I just get tired.
Yeah, I've been passing out.
I passed out hard in the car yesterday.
I think drinking at altitude yesterday probably.
Were we at altitude yesterday?
We were snowboarding outside of a mountain, dude. We were drinking beers at the top of the mountain.
We were at altitude though.
What are you talking about? It's literally the definition of altitude.
I bet. Let's guess the altitude of Mount Hood. I'm going to say 2,500 feet.
I'd say 4,800.
That's not altitude though.
What
That's
do you mean?
Denver.
Yeah, that's altitude.
It's higher than I'm used to.
Especially when you come from, we're almost sea level now.
Pretty big
Is
ass
that
fucking
it?
mountain.
No.
You just found out Bob saying
No. Remember the traffic yesterday?
Oh no! Yeah, it's a bad accident.
They're talking about the accident yesterday. It's labeled as a horrific accident.
Oh my God. Jesus. Ugh. We had to get rerouted for 3 hours, and
Mount Hood on Highway 35 has a horrific accident.
What's the altitude?
Fucking. Wow. Jesus Christ. But it's crazy when the way, I don't want to out this person, but like the shittiness this person refers to, another fine winter driver with bald tires and no skills. And you're like, someone died. What the fuck? And they posted on Facebook, like, what fucking, and their names attached to it. Like, what the fuck is wrong with them? Mount Hood altitude. What's everyone's guess?
4,800.
I have no idea. I just know it's higher than I'm used to drinking beers.
11,000.
Wow,
that's the top.
We were at 11,000.
No,
we were like not even halfway up.
Mount Rainier is 14,000. Mount Shasta, 14,000.
Well, we weren't anywhere near the top of that mountain.
I was on some of my jumps.
Look up Meadow Ski Area. Is that what it's called?
You know, you can hike to the top of Mount Hood.
I'm sure, yeah. You need to be a real mountaineer.
Mount Hood. Oh my God, I'm burping up everything. Elevation.
Snowboarding something that I'm totally comfortable with the fact that, I'm 40-year-old dude now. I don't have to go hit a jump and boom. I just cruise down, have fun.
You're gonna be shocked.
What?
7,300 feet.
Wow. It's a big mountain.
This is where we were drinking beers?
It's a huge mountain. That's what the Meadow Ski Area was then, huh? All right. Well, that's nice.
7,300. That was the same as Utah.
Yeah.
Utah was 7,300 feet.
Yeah. Salt Lake City. Well, a little higher than that. Park City.
Yeah. Park City was 7,300 feet. But I have an altimeter on my watch. Like I'm very sensitive to altitude.
Yeah, you got.
I never was, but I realized one day what it was. It was the same thing with this happiness journals. I didn't realize I was always like out of breath and felt fucking panicked and short of breath and then I realized, this is, someone's like, oh, you have altitude. I got altitude sickness in Aspen. I'm like, you have altitude sickness, and I was like, shut the fuck up. And they're like, yeah, but it's my lifestyle. It's because I drink and I never am hydrated. Yeah. So I've been drinking those liquid IVs in the morning, every morning.
But I think you could have altitude sickness and it wouldn't really affect you because it's just it just feels like a hangover.
Yes.
Yeah. And you were like, I feel like this all the time.
Yeah, that's when I just go. And then someone was like, when the last time we went skiing with the girls just recently, I didn't drink like 2 nights in a row so that I felt good, and I felt fucking like a superhero the next day. And I was hydrated and I wasn't out of wind trying to put a fucking.
And people that don't drink and have normal hangovers, they get altitude sickness and it takes them out because they're not used to it at all.
I'm going to have to take a shit right now.
Yeah.
All right. You should start your show, huh?
We should start the show. Do you guys have anything to promote?
Yes, I do. Let him go first. I've got something big I need to promote.
Jumped out of his chair.
All right, I'm going to go first. Check out the World on Drugs podcast. I do a detailed 12-page deep dive on criminals you've never heard of. I'm not talking about Pablo Escobar and Griselda Blanco. I'm talking about people like Dawood Ibrahim Kaskar. He started out as a street urchin kid in Mumbai, India. By 14, he had his own gang. By 20, he took over the gold trade. And now he's the guy funding Al-Qaeda, and he lives in a castle in Afghanistan. You can fucking call his house. It's up. We got about 35 episodes of these. There's awesome. Check them out. World on Drugs with Steve Furey. Bam.
They are fun. I had a fun time.
We had
doing
Dave
your
on one.
podcast.
Bert's gonna do one soon,
what am I
all
gonna
about
do?
the Russian mafia. I got my guy coming in. Top crimes they've ever committed. He's coming in soon. I think on our next run, he said he'd do it.
Yep.
All right. If we're plugging podcasts, if you enjoy water polo, listen to the Tony Azevedo podcast with Dave Williamson. And if you like barbecue, listen to Meet Dave, the Meet Dave podcast, anywhere podcasts are found.
And if you'd like a Lint steak,
Dave's
announced a huge tour.
We're putting together, not huge, but going to be fun. Putting together tour dates for this summer. Last summer I did a barbecue tour where I went and did comedy in barbecue restaurants. And I'm doing something a little different this year, trying to incorporate some of the best steaks I've ever had in my life that you can enjoy during the show. Just keep an eye out on my Instagram at Dave W Comedy.
And I don't have anything to promote. Man, you got anything to promote?
Definitely not.
All of Bert's dates between now and May will be on them.
I'll be hanging out with Bert.
All right, we're gonna show in Portland. We should go to a strip club after this, and then come back and recount it. We should. San Francisco next week. Fresno, San Francisco, Bakersfield, and then I'm in Austin with Tommy. Leanne's coming down. I'm gonna show Leanne Austin. We're gonna go out to dinner. Me, Tom, and Push. Well, I should hit up Rogan and see if he wants to come out to dinner with us. Leanne's a long hauler. Maybe we'll go bring her by Rogan and get her a fucking drip.
That's tight.
Leanne's got getting a bunch of drips tomorrow. We'll let you guys know how those are because she's fucking fell asleep on the couch yesterday and slept for 3 hours. It was dark when she woke up, and the girls were like, "Mom, are you okay?" And Leanne's like, "Huh?" And they're like, "You've been asleep at 7 o'clock at night." And she was like, "What?" And then went right back to sleep and slept the whole fucking night. Yeah, I think COVID really kicked her ass. Me, on the other hand,
neg blood, bro. Hey, we parting note. We truly are. I'm grateful, man. You're right, Steve. I liked what you said earlier. We really are lucky. We get to do a lot of cool stuff, man. And thank you, Bert, for letting us come along on this adventure.
of course.
And I, reading that thing that you wrote of the people that would go to that thing and look for a purpose in their life. I think there is a lot of people out there that are in dead end jobs. And if we're feeling like we're feeling the things we were just talking about, and we actually get to do cool shit, imagine people that were the star football player on their high school team and were at the top of that stuff. And now they just don't do any of that stuff. They don't even have a job they like or a marriage they like. And we're very lucky, man, that we love the people we're with and we get to do cool shit in our job. And this is it doesn't get much better than what we get to do on the bus here. And I think that's why people like watching our Instagram stories and that we get messages and they say, we love seeing what you got. People were writing me all day today. They were laughing their ass off at me wrestling with Peter last night and wrestling with everybody. And I think people just see that and they go, man, those guys are having fun,
We're definitely having fun. And we're going to have fun tomorrow. We're going skiing again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then we're in Fresno. And then I think we're spending the weekend in San Francisco.
Yep.
And then it's San Diego, and then Las Vegas and
Albuquerque.
You should go snowboarding in Albuquerque.
Oh, above Taos. Let's go to Taos.
Let's go to Taos.
Also, follow me at Scuba Steve Furey on Instagram. What up, dog? I'm out here. Come on, get my numbers up. Come and see
I got to
me.
take a shower.
Hey, Scuba
All right, let's
Steve
go.
Furey.
Thanks, everybody.